Futures pointing to a higher open coming up this morning as we come off a losing week last week. We actually broke a 5-week winning streak for U.S. equities last week, so we're back in positive territory this morning outside of energy stocks. Big move down for energy names right across the board, along with crude oil in negative territory. We'll show you here in a second, almost 2% to the downside here for crude oil. So oil stocks on the watch, moving lower. It was inflation data, if you remember, that came out last week that added some negative pressure to the market overall. Both CPI and PPI numbers for October worse than expected, or hotter than expected, if you will, on the inflation front. So we'll see how things shape up this week. The market looking quite strong, in fact, right now. Heading into the pre-market hours here, we'll get some housing data coming up on Wednesday this week. Also, retail sales and some consumer spending numbers set to come out tomorrow morning before the open. We're watching Boeing this morning in positive territory. A couple of new deals for Boeing on plane orders. Dollar Tree up 6%. We'll touch on DLTR and all the EV names as well, moving higher so far. Tesla was lower in the pre-market. We'll have a look at that. Pretty active after, Elon was at it on Twitter once again this weekend. It's Monday, November 15th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, to the upside, there we go, right across the board. Pretty positive start so far. It was about 0.2 when I sat down this morning for all three U.S. markets. The NASDAQ trying to lead here 0.5% to the upside now as we get just under an hour to go before the open. Crude oil, as I mentioned, was down almost 2%, now 1.18% negative territory, pressuring some of the oil names in the pre-market. Everything else, though, pretty positive. Bitcoin and Ethereum back to the upside. There was a update for Bitcoin I saw over the weekend as well. Morning, guys. Brand new week. Welcome to a Monday. An interesting one setting up here. Lots of different angles we can go here to kick things off. As I mentioned, Elon at it again on the weekend here on Twitter, trying to, I guess, talk to Bernie, because Bernie was talking about taxes once again.
Well, I mean, someone needs to be alive for it to be talked about.
Is he still alive?
Is he? I don't know. Oh, Elon. Elon's a lot of fun, man.
It's white shirt day.
Apparently it is. But Brendan's got the sweater going with the white shirt. There was snow on the ground when I got up this morning. Yeah, there was snow on the ground. Not a lot, a little bit. So it's kind of cold. I should have a sweater like Brendan, but welcome. It appears it'll be an interesting week. Tesla's already bounced off of 1,005 here. Elon still has some shares to sell, and he's got some senators to punk on Twitter. So it should be a fun one this week. Obviously, it's actually some earnings to get through this week because you got all the retailers going to be coming through. Like we got like Walmart's and Lowe's and Target, and then there's this like solar car IPO coming on Thursday. Which another one? Yeah, it's like Sono or something. I don't know too much about them, but hey, man. Solar-powered vehicle, why not? I'm sure.
I mean, Fisker, Rivian, Lucid.
So
Lucid today, the car of the year, awarded. Okay, well.
Oh, so Sean's mic's not working apparently? Okay, so I don't know. He's just talking about Fisker there. Rivian holding 127, or was just holding 127, and it just broke down. So EVs are still going to be in play there, Brendo.
Yeah, lots of electric type news to talk about charging stations as well. Any kind of charging related company getting either an upgrade or at least a price target increase this morning. So we'll talk about ChargePoint coming up here, and Blink as well, back in positive territory, though. Before we go any further, let's get over to Miss V and say good morning.
Good morning, team. Happy Monday to you all. Have a wonderful start of a new trading week. Please smash the like button and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's get it started, guys. Lots to discuss here to kick things off this morning. Are we good? Can we hear Sean now? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Never. This is the headline, guys. We were just discussing there briefly. I keep forgetting you're still alive. That was Elon to Bernie Sanders on Twitter over the weekend, talking about his share sales and tax bills. Bernie talking about how the rich should pay more, and I guess Elon somewhat agreeing with that.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a politician, what's he supposed to say, right? I mean, he's got to keep playing, the rhetoric that he's known for, and that's that, everyone needs to pay more tax, and that's sort of his thing. So I don't have a problem with him. I actually don't have a problem with anything that happened over this weekend. I mean, Elon Musk, look, what is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to, donate more to charity and then take a write-off, because that's not allowed, right? Or maybe that's, curtailing the rules. I mean, the thing is, the tax system needs to be fixed, right? And I think that as soon as that can be done, which may never happen.
Probably not.
These are the opportunities that are given, unfortunately or fortunately, to the super rich. They can take different tax breaks. He can structure his pay via options and not, take a salary. And there's some things about that as well that he can, curtail some of this tax. So look, I mean, for Bernie Sanders to say the ultra rich or whatever his tweet was should be paying more taxes, or I mean, yeah, they should. I mean, I think that's a fact, and but I don't know if that has anything to do with the stock, other than
To me, it's like pick your shots, right? Because you literally I get it, and Bernie Sanders is going to do what he has to do. But you're going to take a shot at the one guy who's like, we don't do patents because, we believe if someone can do something better, that we want it to happen. Tesla is all about, trying to make the world better. Like that's when that's their mission statement, you'd think that there'd be a little bit of a middle ground that you could find there and understand in some ways. I don't know, man. If you think Elon Musk is the enemy, I don't know what to say. Like, at the end of the day, he has his own views on everything, and no one's going to be aligned in every single facet, but it's hard to disagree that Tesla's changing the world, right? So at the end of the day, we're going to talk about the stock price action, because it's, man, what an unbelievably interesting chart that is. It's like, how gorgeous, like $1,000 to $1,250 back to like $1,000 here. And we're going to probably get a test of that level. If not, maybe we already had it here this morning. And we're definitely going to be trading the EV space in general. Rivian's actually down 2%. I know 127 sounds impressive. It is impressive. Yeah. It's actually down because it closed testing that 130 over on Friday. And it had a great debut week. We'll see if it can keep it up. There were some upgrades and then some downgrades, because I thought EV Go got a downgrade from somebody. I know there's a few upgrades on that board as well, Brendo.
Yeah, lots of movement in the charging space, as we were talking about there. I wanted to mention this. A lot of people talking about Casper. Here's the deal. Capital Management taking the company private. $6.90 per share in cash for Casper. I thought this was the Canadian company, but it's actually Endy. ENDY Sleep is the one from Toronto. Casper, an American company. So $6.90 per share for Casper, very active here in the pre-market. So is Palantir, Sean. New partnership, new week, new partnership for Palantir, this time with Big Bear AI. Just reading through some of the details of this, but Palantir kind of flat here so far.
Yeah, look, Palantir's on the watch list. Like, they're going to keep getting these deals, and they're going to keep going. And I mean, unfortunately, every single time we get some good news for Palantir, it starts to go down, and/or earnings and whatnot. So we're just going to have to play the momentum in this name, and hopefully it'll be back to the upside. I mean, we were cruising here. It was beautiful, man. 24, 25, 26, 27, almost 28 on earnings, and then Smash City all the way back down to 22 and change. But look, I'm looking for this right here, 23.20. I think we get a big break on Palantir today. It's going to be a big trade for me. If you can, well, hopefully it'll be a big trade, but it's this level right here that we didn't break Monday. Today's Monday. Friday morning, this 23.20, where we hovered around and then hit the bottom and stopped at 22.50, and then just edged back all the way in the afternoon here for Palantir. And then today we get what I think is going to be more good news. But again, what I think doesn't matter. The stock has to react properly. 23.20 here on Palantir. Love that break. That was the high again that we had on Friday, and it was had in the pre-market, and then it just dipped all the way down. We were also trying to find some longs. Where's my 20-minute chart? In Palantir on Friday, and that never came through for us. I mean, we could have taken this 22.50. We should have. It was just such a busy day on Friday. So I like this right here, man. 23.20. Just get through all of this and then make our way back up to 25.26. So Palantir on my radar, huge today. Let's just check quickly on the imbalance locator just to see. Again, here it is right here. Didn't even know it was on here, but it's a small bid. So PaySafe and Palantir, two stocks that I'm obsessed with over the last week. And then there's Roblox as well on the list. So Palantir, good call there. I like it. We'll see what happens. Everything with a P today is going to be on my radar, man. Palantir, PaySafe, PayPal. Let's go get some of these P stocks rocking and rolling.
Just not Penn.
Just not Penn, yeah. DraftKings and Penn. Hey, why not? I mean, they're moving.
Well, okay.
They're moving around, man. They're moving around. but we don't like Penn as much as the other ones.
No, we definitely don't. And certainly, look, I'm watching some PayPal today for sure as well. And I know I just put in the chat there, I am not short Sundial. Sundial on the move. I know people are like, talk about Sundial, talk about Sundial. It is making a bounce back up. Just remember that dollar mark is big, that 98 level from the pre-market, 96, a couple of key levels there on the way upside here. We thought it might make this run. It was a good short. Yes, it was a good short on Friday. Now looks like it might press through. It's still like that breakout if it ever takes the dollar. That sort of goes without saying.
Yeah, pretty impressive moves for some of these names so far. Once again this morning, here's CGC. 4% to the upside so far for CGC. You can look at Tilray, Cron. They all look very similar. They're still talking about this anticipated unveiling of Republican-led legislation, or the framework, I guess, for Republican-led legislation in the U.S. that could lead to federal legalization. So this whole group, guys, getting a bump once again.
Yeah, and Weed Batman is in the building today, and it's on the sticky note as a couple names here. Look, we talked about when we're going to start looking at marijuana names and cannabis plays, right? And I think that, come on, chart. Now we're finally getting, over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about this every single day. We talk about the little bump that these names are getting, and it just continues to happen. I mean, Tilray, we left these stocks for dead. I haven't been buying anything. I'm already well invested into these. I mean, it's finally starting to get back to some reasonable prices. But look at this bottom, man. $10 for Tilray. You're at 14. That's 40%. Like, some of these returns are undercover dangerous, man. Like, seriously, they're amazing runs here over the last little while. You're getting another 6% today. Like, really, this is the 7th or 8th year of November, and you know it's the 15th today, and you're up to $14 on Tilray. So what a great little move that's had. I think back to 13 we go long. I'd rather it dip and then we take a long. So that's a name that we're looking at for Tilray, and then the same thing here for CGC, which which I think is the #1 stock. I think it's the most well-diversified. I think that this is going to be eventually the leader of said pack. Come on, CGC, there it is. You can see all the way to the up. Beautiful movement here on Friday. Really just had a couple dip buy opportunities. I think we'll try to do the same thing today. Has to be on your radar. But look at this name, the same thing. From $11 to $16 in 5 trading days. So we talked about, you know, this infrastructure bill looking like it's going to be signed, I think today. Anyway, it's supposed to be. And they're going to try to sneak some legislation in here for cannabis. So, hey, look, super exciting, great plays here. I think you got to look at them now. They have to be back on your radar. You know, we'll hopefully be smoking some of these today, and we'll wait to see where we go. But so far, so good. I mean, the daily chart's been absolutely disgusting, but as you can see, you're finally starting to make a move back up here. You've taken out 14. We talked about that last week, and that was 1380, 1390 there, the 50-period moving average. Now you're getting up to the upside. I still think we stop around $20, but hey, from 11 to 20, I think we should take that one, Neil. And
those are big wins.
And look, stock over $1 yet?
It's not. And the difference between these two, well, I mean, I shouldn't say it's not the only difference. The difference between these is Sundial. You know, they had the earnings, they had the 100 million buyback, and that's going to cause it to, you know, put the larger gap trade in from that 70 cents up to like the mid 90s. But remember that it sold off, you know, rather heavily throughout the majority of the morning on Friday, and then has come back. So it is participating. You just want to make sure, like if you are, which I probably at some point will short this stock today, usually will, you just want to make sure you're not getting an absolute blowout and run and continuous breakout on your Tilrays and your CGCs, because it should follow the sector a little bit. You got to consider the short interest, which is still up over 15% on Sundial. So you got to be at least a little bit careful if this does start to squeeze to the upside. You might think it's gone too far, but you know, with these squeeze plays, we've seen this break $1 before. There is momentum in the space. I don't know how long-lived it'll be, particularly for Sundial. You know, a lot of people are going to say this is the time that it goes, but you know, it felt like that could have been the case, you know, several times ago. And there is, you know, there's a possibility. Like right now, if we break that $1, there was resistance, you know, last time about 107 to 110. So that could be a bit of a spot. If I take a one long, very, very likely going to be scalping a good portion of it out for that smaller win, with the anticipation that that first 10% could be a little tricky.
Little one here, guys, from the crypto and NFT space that we've talked about many times in the past. Saw a few people mentioning this. NCTY up, 9.3%, just gapping right through all of those significant levels from the past couple of months. New NFT licensing deal with Christian McAfee. I mean, that's pretty much it. This was pretty quiet up until the last kind of 30 minutes or so as far as volume is concerned. But big move here for the 9 today.
The 9. So, I mean, Brendan, you don't know Christian McCaffrey. I Stanford running back there. He put a beat down on me this weekend. He had like 10 catches for like, I don't know, 100 gazillion total yards or whatever he is. So if you don't know.
So same as Hawkinson. Like, I go to
Did he even get a catch?
No. I go to the hockey game and I figure like that
bang, bang.
Like, he's fine. And I'm like, okay, he got 0. Okay, he must have torn his ACL in the first play. I look at, anyways, go for NCTY, man.
So, I mean, anyway, for anyone that's following, it's not, this isn't an insignificant player. I believe McCaffrey won a Heisman, didn't he? Maybe
Heisman? No, I don't
no,
think
he didn't. Well, he should have won a Heisman. If he didn't win a Heisman, then McCaffrey should have won a Heisman.
I mean, he should
either
win
way,
some MVPs at some point.
Yeah, I mean, he's a phenomenal player. This is just a space which, it's gotten some hype before, but specifically the 9 here, this looks almost, what is this, the same chart that I just pulled up on like Sundial or Tilray or something? Like, this is actually pretty crazy. But if you look at what's happened, it's been in the midst of a little mini breakout here. Now, can it extend through on news like this? I don't know. It was a bigger move. It was a bigger move on Friday, really, all told, bottom to top here. And it just kind of double tapped 14 in the pre-market. Volume is a little bit light to consider that you're going to get a continuous break. So I'm kind of looking at this one at first as a bit of a fade. But with volume only at like 80,000 shares pre-market, it shouldn't be the top of anybody's list. We like to trade what moves. It's certainly up. That is pretty decent news for them. It did have a good move in the afternoon on Friday, but that was much better volume than we're seeing here.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at NCTY, but I think that when you're talking about NFTs and all this kind of stuff, you just have to be very, we've seen not naked brands, Playboy going crazy, Dolphin, DLPHN as well. They're just very timely here. I don't know if you guys are having internet problems over there, but we sure are right here. So just let you guys know.
Oatly, guys, one of the earnings names. There's a few from pre-market here. This one on the list this morning, right at the bottom end of the list. But a big move down again. So they actually beat on their EPS. The revenue came in below expectations, and then the sales forecast, a bit of a mess here for Oatly. So quite the trend to the downside here, continuing for OTLY.
It ain't good. Like that's not price action that's going to get anybody excited. So, okay, what do you say positively here? It's already made a bit of a bottom at like 980. There was a 10 break that I was sort of looking at potentially, which, you can come to the 1 minute here, which kind of has already happened early in the morning. Retail came in and tried to buy this one back up. Well, at least some buying tried to come back up here when it put in this 1040 high. And I'm just sort of thinking the only thing it has going for it, and I double checked, I think it's around 25, Brendan can confirm me this, like 25-26% short interest on FinViz there. So it's significantly shorted already, down that 16%. It wasn't a total miss for Oatly. At the end of the day, the EPS did beat. So you can't say it's all bad. There's always that chance that any stock which is that heavily shorted, when it gets down that big, maybe there's a bit of a bounce that can be played because there's lots of shorts that are going to take profit here. Although I can't see any reason why they'd feel anything but confidence this morning. I'd be looking at like that 1040, 1050. If it holds that, maybe that can be shorted on a bit of a pop. But the 10 break sort of already happened here. 980. These are all-time lows here, unfortunately, for Oatly. So if it pops and we can play off 1050, yeah, certainly I'd be jumping on that party. It is short sell restricted, obviously being down 15% and no win in sight.
Yeah, not good. Down 15%. The daily chart is just horrendous on Oatly. Some of these we've talked about this. Some of these IPOs that happened last year were an absolute joke of an experience. This comes to market. Everyone's loving this. What, didn't they have like Oprah or somebody, some big supporter? Well, let me tell you where Oprah sold her shares. Or whoever was involved in this, as you can see, I wonder where. Now all the way back to the downside, and then right up to down to $9 today. Yuck! This is going to be another ugly day here for Oatly. It's been really bad for a very long time. And I don't think we'll trade it, but it reminds me a little bit, whoopsies, it reminds me a little bit of Smile Direct Club here, as that's still down near $4. Reminds me a little bit of PaySafe, although PaySafe was, yeah, actually it's very, very similar. A lot of these stocks came to market and have just been so disappointing. So although Smile Direct, which I actually wanted to talk about here, I think this 450 on Smile Direct could be a level right now. Bounced off there to 450, back up to 7 or 8, and then now we're sort of seeing a bottom here off of earnings last week for Smile Direct. This 450 just was an area, and this is why it was fresh on my mind as opposed to Oatly, but this 450 is something to look at here for SDC as well. So hopefully that can kick in. But yeah, Oatly, look, sad. I think you got to short any pops there without reading too much into the report. It just doesn't look good for Oatly, down through $10. You know, psychological level too. I mean, it's
definitely not good. One more thing to remember is the lockup expires as well. That was the other thing. Let's type that in the chat. And yeah, Werder Spurs also putting that in there. So the lockup expires as if you couldn't pile in anymore.
Yeah.
All right, here's a few upgrades and downgrades for you this morning, guys. We'll talk about a few of these, I'm sure, over and over again. But we mentioned Blink here, top of the list. Dollar Tree, huge move on an activist investor taking a stake as well on the list this morning for DLTR. There's Netflix, NVIDIA, earnings Wednesday for NVIDIA this week. Disney downside, PayPal again on the downside of the board, but it is actually up here in the pre-market. TripAdvisor to the downside as well.
See, this is just like the same time when there was another, like last week there was a couple, at least one downgrade of PayPal with, I feel like the exact same price target. It might have been 285 instead of 275. So that's a simple case of someone just being late to the party, and they probably had, a price target above the all-time highs, and then they're just going to trim it. After this move has already happened. It's like, where are you revising that back when the stock is actually sitting at like 265? But at this point, that's actually. Like, think about that. It's a downgrade with a price target of 30%, 30% bump. That's everything with a grain of salt, I guess, is the best way to think about it, because PayPal, it's put in a bit of a wipeout bottom, and by a bit of a wipeout bottom, I mean a heck of a wipeout bottom at 200, and now you're essentially breaking back out of that same range. Ignore these little dark pool wicks here, but you're getting a chance to maybe bounce back to those 2 quarters, which were significant levels previously, and look like they could be again.
Yeah, I still have Oatly up here. I'm still looking at a few different names, but that's going to continue to be a problem. I'm looking at AMD today as well. Make sure you check out our sticky notes. I think this is another one of those opportunities here for AMD that we could dip by this name. We've seen it happen. Oh, good. It showed up on my thing here. On Friday, we had a nice little movement downside. We were able to pick up 144s. Now you come in with the market up nicely today, up 0.5%. AMD, look, that's the dip buy we're looking for. If we can get that again, maybe we could do it. And back down to 147. We have a nice 147 base. I don't know if we go from 148 down to 147. It's happened before, and I think that we're going to wait for that. We may start picking it up around here, 147.50, 147.40, something like that in this range, and then use 147 as our kill zone there. But I'm looking to pick up some AMD on some possible strength here. Weakness early and then strength back in the name. And I'm only bringing this up because we did see that NVIDIA over on the other side got that upgrade there. So 305, 306. This is going to continue to work. NVIDIA has been a big, strong name here. It was a little choppy on Thursday, Friday, where we just kind of bounced around 300, but you still have some levels that you could easily take out, and we're right there, man. Like, look at this 307. If we zoom this in, look, it's had this problem right here. 307 the whole time. You go back 1, 2, 3, 4 days here, 307 come into play, and then even when it did break, we got a 310 issue. So maybe on an upgrade plus a nice little market move here, we could get a nice break of NVIDIA, any of these levels, 307, 308, 309, 310. Let's wait to see. We still have now 35 minutes before the market opens. But if we're still hanging around here, I'm going to, I've got a bunch of names on the sticky note here, but I'm going to add NVIDIA at some point through one of these levels. Let's just see where we open up, and then we'll come into that. But right now, NVIDIA on a 1-minute chart, that's 307, pretty much staring you right in the face from Friday at noon. So we can look at 307 on NVIDIA.
All right, just saw some positive data here, guys, for Moderna. This is actually not COVID related. So this looks like a heart failure treatment. There was something else I saw as well regarding this data that just came out. So anyways, we'll have a look at it. Moderna, though, just popping up here, 1.4%, back above 234 there on a volume spike for mRNA.
Yeah.
That's the kind of positive headline that you want to see. Like, you want to see anything that's non-vaccine COVID related for them. I think that's going to be a big step for Moderna. They've already, like we just talked about a wipeout bottom with PayPal, and then Moderna sort of put one in here, not at 200 like PayPal, but basically at 210, and then has just come off last week a higher low at 220, and you're starting to get some momentum. This doesn't really seem to be moving it too much, but it's exactly the kind of thing that you want to see at the start of a rebound. Potentially, like you get that, like the news change, you're talking about different things. I said this with Alibaba. Like there was a point where it felt like with Baba, you were talking less about the Chinese government for a little bit and more about sort of their growth, but that seems to have gone away. Although Singles Day was pretty nice for JD. So I mean, I like Moderna for a day trade. I certainly like that 220 level if it ever gets back there for maybe the first chance at a support level we can really dig into. I'm just not seeing enough volume to convince me that this is actually worth jumping in here on the breakout today, but you're starting to get into an interesting double top at 235 here. So if we're still sitting around at this price range and can catch this in the morning or off the open with a bit of volume behind it, it would look a heck of a lot better to me, but it is a good first start. It's a lot easier, I think, if you're looking at something like a PayPal when you're trying to bottom pick than something like Moderna, which, ultimately speaking is, you can call it a one-trick pony. It's just a more risky thing because if it were to break this recent support it had, Moderna could drop from 200 more severely than something like PayPal would. You're just a little more confident bottom picking there. So I would rather be late to the Moderna party than too early.
Yeah, I like Moderna here as well at some of these levels. I think 210, 220, it's held, and if you're going to, like Neil mentioned, a risky name, so I don't see there's any problem taking risk. I mean, if this is something, look, I believe in the mRNA situation here, and there's just another example off COVID where they're trying to solve another problem, and I think that I was reading about the possible cancer. Not a vaccine, but a treatment that they can do with mRNA as well. And I know that they're working on that. And I just think that they're a couple more announcements away, from even taking out the all-time high one more time. I mean, COVID's not going anywhere as much as anybody wants to hope it does or believe it's not real or whatever anybody wants to think. These booster shots are going to be needed for a very, very long time. Whether or not, they get into the flu shot game or whatever. Like, I don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but I like the technology. Unfortunately, it's the world we live in here, this biochemistry type of warfare type stuff. And honestly, Moderna is going to be one of those companies that's going to lead the way. There's Pfizer, there's BioNTech, and that's about it. J&J keeps getting trash talked in the vaccine world, but I like Moderna. I think it's worth picking some up. And to be quite honest with you, I'm getting close to buying some. I didn't actually realize that it was bouncing so well off this 200 level. So this may be something that goes in the portfolio sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so this is a mRNA-based therapeutic for patients undergoing coronary artery bypass grafting surgery. So in the heart space for Moderna, which is...
That's the thing about it, right?
Brent, before we move on, I'm just going to address something because someone's in the chat. They're like, oh, you're long, you're short, CSPR, what's going on? You guys are being deceptive. So, look, CSPR is being bought for $6.90 cash, which turns it essentially into this spread trading, rebate trading, where it's going to move a cent or two at a time. I have 54 fills on it. So, what we try to do here is we show basically everything that we trade. I know we can probably get rid of showing you some of these because if you don't have direct market access, you might not be involved in spread trading or taking 1 or 2 cents over and over again on a stock like this, but it's just not really going anywhere because the deal is in cash. It is traded, like I can show you my fills here. This is all of it trading in a 3-cent range, and that's me essentially going short. I had a couple of longs in there as well, just essentially trying to capture some spread. It's not really moving a heck of a lot, guys, and you're going to see this. So it's not anything deceptive. I'm not buying and holding the stock. It doesn't actually make any sense to do that. It doesn't make any sense to do anything. It's just a $6.90 cash deal, and over again, we're going to be in and out.
A lot of volume so far, CSPR, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's bring in Arun here and get a look at the overall market to kick off a brand new week. We're trying to get back to the upside here, Arun. Still 0.3 for the S&P.
Yeah, this market's just, continuing what we had done, I guess, late morning on Friday, just that move up. It was like a 30-point move from the mid 40 or high 40s all the way up in the 70s. And it seems like after a little break in the afternoon here, we are continuing that move into the 90s now. There really isn't a whole lot in terms of levels I've got left. Maybe the high, I've got 47.15 marked off. That's from last week, or maybe the week before. Anyways, it's from the last time we got up into the 47.10 area. I got 47.15 as the top end. But apart from that, there really isn't anything stopping this market from continuing this move. Apart from maybe a small little break before we get going, there isn't a whole lot left. I would keep an eye on how this market reacts around 4,700. If you start to see some hesitation, if you start to see some movement up that can't really get going, then there might be a fade opportunity up in that price point. But for now, we're just going to respect the fact that this market wants to go up. It is up 1/3% on the ES. It is still going strong. It is backing off a little bit now, but it is still going strong for the most part. So even if you come back down a little bit, I think there could be a buy the dip opportunity. I mean, depends on how far and how aggressive it comes back. I think if you come back underneath 90 into the high 80s, there might be an opportunity to buy something. I've got my closest level at 65-ish, around that price point. So 46.65 is where I've got my next support point. So depending on how we come down, there might be an opportunity to buy and trying to join this move as we get going. And of course, if you get about 4,700 and start to see some fading or start to see some resistance and it sets up the right way, then you might be able to fade the move to the top end. But for now, I would just respect the fact that this market is looking strong. So we'll see how this goes into the open. I think you're going to have to wait to see how the open determines how this market trades, at least for the early session in the morning.
Great. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning, guys. Let's continue along with what is moving around in the pre-market here if you haven't done so yet. That is the link for the watch list. We go over it every single morning at 9 a.m. Absolutely free to you every single morning before we come on at 8:30. The first one on the list, Boeing. Boeing up nicely here for the first time in a couple of days. Anyways, they announced a few new deals, a few new potential deals, one with Emirates, one with Saudi Arabian Airlines. There was another one with, I think there was another joint deal that they announced with another airline to work on some infrastructure type products for the airline industry as well. So Boeing catching a bid here today.
Eddie had.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, and I mean, another reopen play here that we've talked about over and over again. I mean, I actually was lucky enough to not sell any of my Boeing shares last week. We were talking about rotating out, but I think that you got to stay, the course with some of these trades. You can't have all your eggs in the tech basket. And I think that when you're reopening right here, we've liked Boeing. Look how sweet this is. I mean, this is shout out to Lucas again. You get a high quality name, which I believe is high quality, bouncing off some of these levels here like Boeing down to 200. And I think it's just a long-term hold. They had obviously the dip down here in COVID. We don't need to talk about that. We all know where that's coming from. And then even before then, the 737 MAX, this was a 4 or 5. I mean, we can zoom back even further here. This was a $400 and something stock before all this happened, right? And so right now this is going to happen. Unfortunately, it was a very, very rough ride for Boeing shareholders. Right now, they're starting to make some more deals. They're found a bottom here at 210. I think it looks pretty sweet to the upside right now. A nice deal. I think 3% is probably a little bit too much. It can pull back in here. And with that being said, I like this kind of an area, 224, 223, something like that, where we sort of had some stop and go areas there and then there. So that's 224.50, 223. So I'm a buyer of Boeing back into this area, 220 and change. I think it's great news. If you're long, you hold the course on this name. I think United is another name here with international. And we've talked about Southwest, and we had Mark Roberts on. That was his favorite. And I think that makes sense for domestic travel with international now opening back up. UAL, I didn't want a 1 minute chart for UAL. I wanted a daily chart, which is right here. You could see that there's also some value being had here. We actually did a video on UAL and called this a nice little buy when it was down here, $42, $43, made its way up to 54, trying to break out here. So between Boeing and United, I think it makes sense to get some exposure here in the travel side of things. And Boeing also has, obviously, what you were talking about there, aviation, sustainability, different alliances that they're making, and just working on technology. So I like Boeing here. I don't see it's a problem, and I like UAL if it dips a little bit more below 40 or below 50 to like that 47, 48 area.
Yeah, that 3% that we're up now. Also, you get the 200 period, which has been some resistance. Some resistance. It's been the resistance for the last couple of months here in Boeing. You need to get through that 230 range. The other downside, well, it's not really a downside, but the one downside that I would think about here is after after the GE, I guess breakup, or I guess they're eventually going to break up. Kind of like them a little bit better overall as a play, something to be in the portfolio. I do own both of them, but I really like what GE is doing. I think they're going to unlock a lot of value by breaking up the company. The 230 break could happen this week. Whether or not it has juice to get another dollar or a couple of bucks here today, I'm not entirely sure. The market is at least relatively strong this morning. I mean, the ES, hey man, the ES wants to break this 4,700. Then I suppose, it's probably going to lead Boeing to break out that 230 in the first place. So I got my eye on that level. It's a 200 period as well. Oatly, by the way, just to keep you guys abreast of the trades that are going on. Oatly did take out the bottom there.
Did it? Oh my
at 980. So I didn't get anything out there. It actually went about 10 cents in the money. I was sitting down a little bit closer to that 950 range to get some out. And I just want to play this first level short here. There's only two ways to look at it, like I said. Is the bottom, the low of the day break, and then there was this pop that you had to like 1040, 1050. So, I like to play both these if I can. I'll give this one just slightly past $10 because there was a consolidation here at 10. If it breaks back like 10.05 or so, I'd get out and then look for that higher level. Otherwise, lead to the short side, and let's see how it goes.
Neil, you were just asking about Cassava Sciences here, guys. There was a move down on SAVA, 5.5%, in fact, so a decent-sized move. Not a lot of volume, though. If anyone's wondering, this is what a Form 10Q would look like for the SEC, which is a part of the quarterly filing. Apparently in this 10Q, I'm not going to go through it because it's crazy boring. In this, apparently, there's a notification of a government investigation, so that seems to be the reason for this move down here, guys. Just broke 65, in fact, for Cassava, accelerating now.
Yeah, is there never a good government investigation, I suppose, and Cassava Sciences? And we talked about this one being a bit of a tricky trade when they did have that finding of, I guess, no data manipulation, why it didn't necessarily mean the stock was going to the upside. It couldn't get that breakout past that 100. And, it would be nice. Sometimes if you're sitting here and you can catch a trade like that where it breaks a 68, wasn't on the radar at that particular point. You do have the 200 period, which is about $1.50 away here, 63.50. So, decent chance that it might find some support above it. If it does, I think it's probably a short the pop situation, especially back into the 70 area, which was resistance before. At this point, it's kind of in an upward trajectory, but until you digest this news, I'd probably stay away from the long here in Cassava Sciences. Like you said, though, Brendan, the volume, despite the fact that it moved down 5 or 6% here, that's A, not a lot for Cassava Sciences, and B, not a lot of volume either.
I haven't really had too much of a chance to look at Cassava Sciences, but if we're just going to talk about levels, Neil just did that pretty nicely there, but only 120,000 shares today. So, you got to let this thing open up, and then we'll let it just chill out a bit. It's been very, very violent, some of these bottoms and some of these tops. So right now you're kind of hanging out in the middle, and definitely worth a look down here to $64, $65. The 50-period moving average is 55, but that hasn't meant much. When a stock is so news-based, you can't really look too much at some of these technicals. It's going to fall where it wants to. I think that you really do have some levels at 50, so I'd rather wait till then to step in the way of Cassava Sciences, but it's a great day trade. So it could halt around, do some things like that. Remember, like a 10% move in a couple minutes is very, very possible on Sava. So that's a name that we look at. We absolutely destroyed. If you remember, I think it might have been a week ago today or so, or was it a week ago last Monday, where was it 2 Mondays ago? Or anyways, where Sava came to market, halted. It would have been in here somewhere. That's why I'm thinking it was somewhere around here. It had some beautiful plays on halts. So we always have Sava up, and we're waiting for more halts on that name. But right now, it's kind of caught in the I was going to say the metaverse, but that's not true. Just reading something about NVIDIA. Caught in the metaverse here in the middle of nowhere is Cassava Sciences. You do go back to the 63 level right here, but I'm not looking at any key levels right now. Let's let this thing open up and then let it trade, and hopefully it halts, and we can take advantage of it.
Let's go on to EV land, because it was a very exciting week last week, obviously, for anything related to electric vehicles when Rivian came to market. Tesla, one of those that had a big week. on its own. Obviously, it's Tesla trading down a little bit this morning, along with Lucid, guys, also in negative territory. This one, though, definitely not. GGPI, which is the Polestar SPAC, if you remember, 13.5% after this crazy move on Friday. This caught the whole social media wind. Everyone has jumped on the Polestar bandwagon here for GGPI. But there's Lucid, there's Fisker, there's Tesla, all kind of moving around, actively traded again today.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla, we talked about bouncing off that 1,005 and grinding higher right now up at 16s or so. But Polestar, okay, GGPI, it's so much easier to just call this thing Polestar, has already done over 8 million shares worth of volume. This is certainly where the volume is in the morning, this morning. And it was a big runner on Friday. We traded this a little bit in the close show for you guys. And, you know, it was one of those, okay, the long was good on the breakout at 1250, and then the bigger move was almost aftermarket when it made another push higher. Now you're gapping up. We just took it, I mean, it just took out 15 a couple of times here, but there were failed breaks at 15 even. So 15 still very much in play as a bit of a level. And, you know, I do think it's going to likely get tested at the open. When I see this, I mean, you got the gap up, double top, consolidate, lower setup. So, I mean, that's usually something that I'm going to want to play for a fade off of the high or the lower high, which is definitely in play at 15 and 15.25. All that said, if it takes out the top, you know, the stock has been a clean break every single time. So, you know, I'll stick with that when it takes out the high, double top 15.25. I'd go long, but I am looking for that 930 pop and fade trade. You know, if you get something like 90, 95, maybe 15, 10, something like that, off either one of those levels, rejecting right at the open, I think this could have a little bit of a dip for it to come back in. I mean, obviously, I'm going to look at like 1390 to 14, somewhere around here, as potential for support. But it's got multiple setups for you here on GGPI, given this volume. I mean, you can definitely scalp, I think, any failure at the high of the day to a short side. I think you can take a breakout into the long side on GGPI. There's no levels above the top breaking, however, because, hey, fresh highs.
Yeah, GGPI is a good one, man. Polestar is starting to go here. Coinbase. Oh, something is nothing. A founder launching a VC fund in crypto. Okay, so no problem there. I'm always nervous about the Coinbase. I want to get back into Coinbase. I still think it falls a little bit. I did want to go over some crypto here quickly. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is the coin. Yeah, this is too hard to see. I'm gonna find a dark. Maybe there's a dark mode here somewhere. But I just want to talk about it. Bitcoin right now in the last 24 hours. Do you think they can see this? I don't know. I don't know how good they can see it on the screen here, but hopefully you guys can. 1.2% right there for Bitcoin, 2.3% for Ethereum, and still going. Solana, that's a relatively new name. I mean, not new for many of us that are in crypto, but that's going to be one they're going to hear a lot about. An Ethereum, not an Ethereum killer, but maybe right there, and that's why I like Cardano. I've been pushing that for a bit. That's up to $2. Ripple. Not much, 120 coming down. Omise Go has been going a little bit crazy. They're up to 19, back to 11 and change. And then Shiba Inu, the one that everyone's looking at all the time as we wait for them to list. I don't know. I guess they didn't list, I don't think, on Coinbase, or not Coinbase, Robinhood yet, I don't believe. Let us know if and when that does happen. But there's Shiba Inu right now, 5350. So that's always a very, very interesting fun. Yeah, Packers fan for sure. You see what happens when, I guess, I was going to say Captain COVID, but thank God he doesn't have it anymore. Oh, but now that he's back, what we wind up doing to the hapless Seattle Seahawks there, 17-0. Like,
the defense is legit.
Again, man, and our defense is legit. And we're missing tons of guys, so hopefully they can come back in. I did want to talk quickly here about PaySafe, $4.20 here. That's where we went long on Friday and absolutely destroyed. Hopefully, are they in here? Yeah. So we took a big position long down there, the only one we had all day. We took advantage of it real quick up to the upside. But look where it stopped, 450. So I'm thinking again, I don't think PaySafe's in the clear by any stretch of the imagination. Nothing's changed. They haven't come out and said anything. They haven't defended that awful quarter of theirs. Management is still around. But I think a bid back into here, 430. That's where we have it right now on PaySafe. So a bid back to 430. See if we can take that. I think it may possibly drop a little bit into the open, and then we can defend $4. So we're going to be doing that all day today. I'm not sure about a breakout of 455. I don't really think there's any news here for PaySafe to get this thing going, but 455 is going to be one hell of a trade, hopefully, for me at some point. I'd like to make it today. I just don't think the news is there, so we'll have to wait. Like, the best thing would have been for us to come in and see something about management or someone, stepping down or, hiring somebody new or whatever. Like, I think PaySafe needs somebody because they're on the transaction side, right? I still think that it would be awesome if they got like a former PayPal blah 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 or Square somebody or just somebody in here to try to right the ship here for PaySafe, because they do have a lot of clients, they do have the revenues, they just haven't found their way. So I'm waiting for PaySafe to get going. With that being said, I'm a buyer. I haven't added anything into my long-term portfolio, sitting on a big ass goose egg with this one, but we'll wait on PaySafe to come back to 430 before we buy it. What's up, Dominic? Thank you for everything, all your super chats always. And I just learned last week that you're from Wisconsin, so yes, defense is strong. But remember, actually, Metcalf had like 3 catches for 20 yards, so we definitely shut that guy out. And then, of course, he was grabbing face masks at the end of the game, so we jacked him.
He's an angry dude.
He's a very, very angry dude and a very, very fast, big man as well, DK Metcalf. But shout out to the Packers, and we knew the Bills would come through and absolutely destroy the Jets. I still think Kansas City is going to be a tough team to beat, man. They look like they were back last fourth quarter. Whoever they played the last game, they started getting it together. And then yesterday was a very, very nice game against a weak Raiders team.
Yeah, I was definitely happy to see that. But happy to see a couple of other names pop on the list here today, Berendo, because Dollar Tree, I think we're going to Dollar Tree at some point, because wowzers. Good quarter for them.
Yeah, big move, DLTR. I was just checking on Fubo as well, guys. There was a downgrade that just came out on Fubo. It's actually up here in the pre-market, so we'll have a look at that. But yeah, there was an activist investor that came out after market on Friday, Mantle Ridge, disclosing, again, aftermarket last week, a $1.8 billion stake in Dollar Tree. Still talking about all kinds of upward opportunities. If you look at the daily chart, though, it's pretty impressive already. There are some retailers to come this week, guys, for earnings as well.
Yeah, and that's what makes this interesting, right? Is you get retail earnings coming through, you essentially have a breakout of that high, their highs, which was back in April here, that 120 mark. You've already broken that here today, so well, I mean, it's on relatively light volume, so you're not really doing a lot of volume. You don't usually do a lot of volume on this name either. But we're going to get a potential for a trade, I think, here at the open. Just looking for a top-end break. I think you look at that 120, the previous high is a bit of a dip level. So if I find some selling in Dollar Tree that kind of holds 120 at the open, similar to like that pop and fade idea, it's sort of like a drop and then drop and pop on Dollar Tree here. I like that more than a breakout, because breakouts without volume tend to be a little bit dangerous. So Dollar Tree on the radar. If it drops down to 120 at the open, can manage to hold that level, not crater through it to like 119 or something, I'd like it on the way back up. And yeah, I mean, okay. So someone in the chat was like, I think said something positive about Oatly. And I'm not here to say that like the company, whatever. I'm not going to say anything about the oat milk because I never had it. But it wasn't a good quarter. It was a disappointment. It has quite possibly like the strongest momentum to the downside of. I mean, there's probably other charts, but I can't really think of something which is quite this strong on a purely linear basis to the downside. And it just it broke that bottom. It just took out 950. I'm going to bring the register on another third here because it just continues to flush. So the only pie in my face would be with this one not looking to be short earlier in the pre-market, I think.
We need to get a better pie.
This could have been, I know, it should not be pumpkin pie.
Every time I see that sound is nasty, and it's a nasty pumpkin pie.
We should have had the 10 break. We probably should have had like 10, 20, but there was such light volume in the pre-market. And now I'm thinking, does it go all the way to $9? Certainly a possibility, but I don't want this to turn into a losing trade. It's already put in a nice little run here, breaking through that 980 low and then make a consolidation break through 970. At some point, I suppose, everything finds a bottom, then you don't want to get caught shorting that absolute bottom. I'm not sure we're here there yet on Oatly.
No, sorry, Rob, other Rob. Could you get a hold of?
Rob.
Could somebody please read the chat when you guys get a second? Like, we got to kind of be a team here, guys. What about the short float here? This is what I'm going to ask Valeria right now and/or Brendan. What about the short float for Oatly? Because right now I'm not getting anything on trade ideas. It doesn't mean that there isn't a short float, of course, but there is going to be something here for Oatly Group. And I just want to know, because to me, and I know you just talked about it, but that's the only reason. I mean, I'm wondering if you do get 27. Okay, so Neil has 27%.
That's FinViz.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, FinViz is fine, and we'll get something else too. But short float right now, I'm thinking that this has to be something in here pretty high for that move to happen. And we don't have it, but that could be the catalyst for this thing to bump back up. The shorts have already won today. So imagine you're short Oatly, and today you come in, it's 20%. You just took out all-time lows, and now you see a bouncing spot here at 9. So I think the short float could be the story of why we're going to go back to the upside. Quickly, though, I do want to throw over to Miss V. Let's see what she has to say on a bright, nice Monday morning.
Hey guys, we really need your help. Let's get 1,000 likes before the market opens. We have more than 6,000 viewers, so please make sure you turn thumbs to the upside. And of course, guys, share the link with your friends. Let more people find out about our beautiful community. And of course, subscribe to our channel. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, as many viewers as we have, we'd like to have likes, right? We actually hit, on this show alone, I was checking on Friday, which I think it's important that we keep doing this. We had 50,000 viewers on Friday, so thank you so much for that. 50,000 views on YouTube, probably higher now, as we do know some people watch over the weekend. Thank you for continuing to support us, man. We're excited. We're going March for 300,000 right now. Brendan, we just cracked 250 about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. So next is going to be 300. And look, guys, let's put some ideas in the chat here. What are we going to do? I'm still trying to have a meetup, if that can ever happen, hopefully, in this world. That might be a target for 500,000.
I'm just whispering Vegas. Anyone that you've been watching the show long enough, you already know that I'm the only trader in the
sponsored Vegas.
The only trader in the universe who's never been to Vegas. That's me.
Yeah, and we're gonna hopefully get sponsored to go there, because that would be even nicer. Go. Yeah, well, you know what? We could just charter the Trader TV Live plane. So we'll do that down to Vegas, and we'll meet you guys there.
We'll get it warmed up and ready to go. I will join that club, Neil, because I've actually driven through, but I don't think that counts for actually being in Vegas. But anyways, so this infrastructure bill is supposedly going to be signed into law today. There's a giant chunk of that bill going to not only electric vehicles, but electric vehicle infrastructure, including charging networks. So all of these guys are higher here in the pre-market. CHPT, I just brought up. One of those trying to hold that session high here is 1.5%. There's Blink. There's EVGO is another one, charging station network, guys. But this whole group getting a bump on that.
Yeah, I mean, certainly ChargePoint. And we mentioned the only one that was, I guess, for different reasons going down. Because I thought EVGO, which, I mean, that's an unbelievable run it's been on, got a bit of a downgrade. But, you know, all things considered, when it triples up in a very, very short period of time, I can't be too surprised. If there's one to fade today, I think that puts EVGO into that space. It had such a gorgeous double top here at about 1965 that it does set up for a pretty good, at some point, if it does take out that 20 level, it'll probably be pretty epic. But you're now, let me zoom in here so you can see, you're now back below the support levels from Thursday and Friday, which are about 17.5. I think if it holds that there, then you're looking at potential 17 breakdown into 1550 here. So, you know, they got a downgrade, but sometimes it's just as much about where they've come from, when it comes to this. So at the end of the day, this could be a bit of a sell the news downgrade after the fantastic run, and a pullback could be in store. It hasn't really had a gigantic one other than that monstrous pre-market pullback that it put in on Tuesday, which, you know, that was selling off pretty much all day long, though the bulk of that happened before the market even opened. So it's hard to count that as much as you would these moves that happen in market. But 17 breakdown, it's certainly in the cards. You can give that to like a 50 top there. And at some point, I do expect that, you know, if we get back up there, that 20 break could look pretty sweet.
I did want to just quickly here talk about Lucid as well. They got, what was it, the Car of the Year they got nominated here, the 2022. So 2022 Motor Trend car of the year. It just says Lucid, so I guess it's the dream, right? And so a nice move to the upside here for Lucid today. It's catching that from 42.50 up to 44 and change. And then all we have to worry about now is this daunted 45 level that we've sort of been bouncing around through, and 45.50 would be really key. But we've seen this name go before lots of times. Lots of big green candles here on the 20-minute chart, and also lots of big red candles. But, you know, when this starts going, it can go, and there's Lucid right there. That time, I see it on hours about an hour ago or so. So that would make sense back down here around 43 and change. I guess that's 8:30. And then there's the big bump up right to some of these highs. Now, again, when you win car of the year, I don't know, you know, what that's going to mean for right now. It's a nice little bump up. I mean, I think that it's only up 0.5%. I think it should be up more. So Lucid right there, 44.50, looking like we're going to take that out at some point. There's nothing really on the 20-minute. And when you look at the daily chart, we've already talked about how sort of parabolic that's been going, at least recently for Lucid. I can't believe you talked about Oatly with the pipe, but that, I remember that pipe lockup right there went down to $16, and then it ripped the whole day. As soon as that lockup was over, and I guess whoever dumped it, it ripped up, it ticked down to 16, closed at 18, and then since that day, man, it's just been a nice little bump to the upside. We did get a retracement back in, so I'm looking for Lucid, you know, pick up any drops, and then also want to look at this off the open quickly. I know we got to go to Brendan quickly. Let me just show you the imbalance locator, as it's something that's popular. Palantir buy side, we're still waiting for 23. This has come back down, so we're waiting for 23.20. Hopefully we can find some levels to pick that up. Pay safe to the downside, we're waiting a couple more pennies lower to pick up a bid there. I don't know. This might be, like, we had such a great rally back on Friday. I wonder if picking up some of these on dips might not be right, but we always have out. So pay safe, we'll try a 30, we'll try again at like a 15, and then if it breaks 4, we're gone on that one. And then AMD, again, we like AMD, but on a dip down, we'll see, man. 147 is going to be our dropping spot for AMD. Let's go over to Brendan quickly here with 5 minutes to go.
Hey guys, yeah, iPoint, another little one that's higher this morning. This one not necessarily terribly weak overall. It's a therapeutic company. They develop eye treatments. So down this morning, or up I should say, but heading down on positive news for one of their trials. This is one of those stocks that's very thinly traded, has a huge wide range this morning. 19.5 is that last resistance point. Above that, you got to go to 21 and then 22, which is essentially the high of day. Breaking down right now, this is a long way to go if it wants to. 15.5 to 16 was that last pivot on the daily chart that we took out with this move up in the pre-market for EYPT, guys.
So GGPI made a breakout here, took out that high of the 1525 high, got in a couple of times. I mean, average price is going to be 1525 on both those longs, and looks like that pop and roll is only a thing. Well, only a thing if it failed at those prices. With 3 minutes to go, it's breaking out at the open. I'm going to give this back to like a 1480 or 1475. It is on the watch list, of course. Always check out our watch list. But Rivian on the 129 break. So, you know, while GGP was going, Rivian breaks 129. It is worth noting. It did make a bigger high here when we were trading this one when 135 lingered at the top as the high from Friday. So that was a bit of a fail break, and then it consolidated 129 and then did nothing for the rest of the day. Looks like it might make another move there. Also watch out for this 132. They put in that top later on in the session. So GGPI now to the long side. I'll give it to 1480, maybe 1475. And then watching this Rivian. 135 to me seems like an obvious resistance point. But man, that 129, probably should have had that.
Yeah, I'm looking at you know, some kind of a break here to the upside for Rivian, but at the same time, I noticed that 132, it stopped there again. It stopped there on Friday at noon. It stopped there right now. And then as I look right here, we do have, these are real highs, 133, 134, and then that level right there, 135.26. So I'm going to sit in here. Hopefully we get a bump back up to 134 and change. We'll short it there, and then we'll give it a couple more bucks. If it wants to take out 136, 137, then so be it. We actually talked about putting this in our account off IPO day, but when that came out at 106.75, I mean, it looks silly now because you're up 25% in 5 days. For Rivian, day was Wednesday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then so basically, you know, so far anyways, 3 straight days and you're in the money 25%. Seems like a little bit frothy to me. So we'll short any early pop and then use 137 as our out. So yeah, just to keep going. I don't know if we don't need to go back to Brendan, or do we?
I think we're good.
Right now? No, we're good now. Okay, so Boeing, a nice move again off the 20-minute chart here, forming a level between 227 and 229. Coming back in just a little bit, here comes Boeing. And I said that we don't mind this name around here, 224, 225. So we'll see if we can pick some Boeing up. If that dips in, we do like that play. We like PayPal here as well for any possible dip buys. It's already breaking out, man. We put this one, siren alert on this one. We bought this at 203.50 or whatever. I can find it out for you last week. We talked about buying this on the 3rd day. We bought it on the 3rd or 4th day. And now it's back up to the upside. PayPal hopefully continues to work here for us as well. So a couple dip buy opportunities that we're looking for with only a minute and a half to go. And crypto's kind of just not doing much. Ethereum still bouncing around 4700.
Yeah, and this Oatly got a bit of a bounce here. So I already took a couple legs out. It got a bounce back into 980 or so. Probably had a chance to reload in front of 10. Just missed it by a couple of pennies, and then now we're back to 950. If it goes up and takes out 1005, I want to be out of this one and then look to that 1050 level. Just got to be cautious when you're trading it. I think, like we said, there is that short interest. And then last entry in 15 at GGP, I should say, or Polestar, depending on what you want to call it. This 1475 to 1480 area, that's going to be a stop. I almost don't care whether it's pre-market or right at 930. I don't want to be holding on to this one. If that's a failed break at the high, a lot of times you can have a bigger, deeper retracement. And if that's the case, I think the 14 is a much better buying point than than up here holding on through. Tesla looks like we're not going to get that test of 1,000. Well, I mean, it's at 1017. It has gotten away from that level now. Just sort of watching it barcode like 17, 18, 19, 20 or so. If that comes down to 1,000, obviously that's going to be a big level. I'd play that one sort of the same way we did before. I think you can, long in front of it, tight stop. But if it breaks, it only got to 990 last time. If it follows through, I think it's going to be a good short opportunity for Tesla. Hasn't happened yet. Ms. V on the bell. 2 and 1, ring it.
Alrighty, we're gonna look for here some Tilray on a little bit of a dip down. We'll see if we can get long on this one, waiting for it to open up. A break of 1350 on Tilray as well. We forgot about Palantir. I want to dip buy in that one, but that's only at 23 right now. Watch for Palantir down here, man, 2270, just in case, but we are watching that 2320 break.
Yeah, and that GGP...
2305 maybe.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, that GGPI looks like it just got back above that 15 level. If it breaks that 1525 again, I do want to cover some in front of that 1550. Those quarters and those evens, always a bit of a thing, and you don't want this to fail through that previous 1525 again, because that could really signal a short. Just watching as Tesla bounced 1020, and Rivian coming back in a little bit here. So Rivian up to 131.5 and now falling like an absolute, well, not a rock, but down towards this pre-market bottom. It held it on Friday and then was a good long off those pre-market lows. So watching that 126, 127 for a bounce.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in right now. Maybe a short 123 on Rivian if it comes through there. Short through 124. Okay, Roblox. It's on our list here to break. We didn't get to it today. Higher, but there it is. We play the dip buy in Roblox, defending this 106. It's right on our sticky note right here, so hopefully it can come in. But in case it doesn't, man, the NASDAQ is absolutely puking right now to the downside. So you could see what a bad morning here for us. We're up 0.5. Now you're only up 0.1. So you got to watch out for some. We're 3 longs right now because
Oatly's dying.
Oatly. All of our dip buys came into play. So we're going to watch out for this 105. If we break on that, then we're going to be gone. But right now, Roblox 106.25 long, AMD long, and Palantir long, all working for us right now.
Yeah, and we'll drop, I don't know, I don't even know which one to hit. I'm going to use old school and floss it off for GPI here. It just hit 1540 on the way back to the upside, so it holds that 1480 low. If it can break 1550, I want to be holding through that break, but probably only half the position. So there it goes, guys. And down to 915 is Oatly. If that breaks 9, I want to hold through a 9 break.
There it is, man. Right away, 106. That's $2 clean on Roblox as that going ham right now. So that's a good trade for us on Roblox. We'll see where it goes now, but so far so good on that name. Nice move to the upside. Long 106.25 out there, 107.75. So a good play for us right there. AMD, though, does go to the downside, and we're just sitting here ready for it. And that's what we did, man. We pick up those bottoms. Exact same thing we said before on AMD. We'll see about getting some out now. We are long AMD right now. 147. 147.28. Just cash them out there, 147.70. Let's see if it continues to go to the upside, but we're doing it already today. So far, so good here, guys.
And just to remind you guys, sundial is a bit of a thing. It tried to press up here. I mean, I saw it look, maybe it got to 93 or 94. I do still like fading the short, and it looks like it might be there again, not getting to that dollar range. I'll look at 91, 92 in front of a 93 current top. And Tesla, by the way, Tesla making that test. We're getting pretty close to that 1,000 mark. We're at 1,008. Now, I do think I'll take one shot long in front of it, but after that goes, I got to consider it a short trade on that breakout, guys. So watch out for Tesla. It did have a bit of a bounce in the pre-market. That looks like it's come and gone. 1,000 still in play.
Like, I mean, pardon the French here, but this AMD is like a wild, man. Like, boom, boom. Like, we're long at 25, but like sometimes we're getting out at 80, then I'll hit offer and we're down at 50. This is a wild ride here for AMD, so watch out. We are out of 2/3 of this already to the upside for a big win for us on AMD. Roblox continuing to work up, man. We talked about buying the dips, placed names that were strong last week, so that's what we do here again. A quick check. We're not in pay safe right here, so let's just go over and have a look. Didn't give us that 30 bid, it gave us 35. We didn't want that, so we pass on that. Palantir, a break of 23.05. Hell yeah, we take that. We're out at 18 right there. So a nice long for Palantir. We still like the break. We talked about that break here. Pre-market high, 23.05. We took that, and now we'll wait to see if it goes even higher. There goes AMD. Let's go, man. I mean, this is going to be a good one. The market just needs to hold out here. I don't know if it will. NASDAQ starting to bounce back up, so we like this position, AMD.
Yeah, and remember that GGPI gives you the break initially at the open, then you get the 930 fail. It cannot take out the higher high. It breaks that 1475. That's a reversal for me to the short side. I'll take it down to that 14 level. We said 14 is potential support. I think 1420 got put in a little bit earlier here, so I'll go some out in front of 20s, 1420s, and then the rest out in front of 14 even. Only caught a bounce off of 907, so a bit of a level forming there. And as far as Rivian goes, going to be watching Tesla, but Rivian holds those pre-market lows. Does not get to 120. Thank you for moving that. It does not get down to that 126. I want to be very patient here. It's not Oatly. We barcoded on Rivian after the dip, and I want to make sure on Friday, that is, I want to make sure that we're actually holding a higher low instead of just testing that 126 where I think there could be a good buy. Tesla, $5 away now from 1,000 even.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, what's up with that? What's up with that? My favorite skit on Saturday Night Live. Okay, so we just got some more out of AMD here. Palantir still trying to struggle a little bit. That Oatly's a good one. We are starting our new position alert here, so we'll do Weed Batman because Tilray takes out that 30 level. We didn't necessarily want to get that. We were waiting for more lower at 13, but it does come back up to the upside, so we do punch our ticket here temporarily anyways. We'll see where it goes on Tilray. We are long rate here. What was my price? 51. So we did take that 50 break, and unfortunately, it is coming back in. We talk about fading some of these marijuana stocks all the time, and it looks like today on Tilray, that probably would have been the right call. We did get a little excited, but we're still long this name. I think we can hold this until we get back into here, see if we start cracking below 1270 or so. So just to give you guys an update, we are sitting around here, 11s to get longer, so we'll take that bid, and then back to 1260 or so on this name. So that's what we're going to wait for, a 1260 or so breaking spot here for Tilray, back to the downside. So we'll hold this until then. Just check on CGC just to make sure that that's either similar or not, but CGC, we're waiting for that one as well, guys. And NVIDIA just, obviously the market coming down here a little bit. NVIDIA just got to that 300 mark and bounced. So like King Leonidas, it put in a bit of a stand, 300 even. Just held to the downside here, and it popped up. I just tried to get some shares there when it bounced off to take maybe a long in front of 3,000 or 300, and then just quickly get out if it broke that level. Was that Brendan? Yep.
One that was active on Friday, guys, C3AI, just popping up here on volume, got all the way up there to 51.5. Hard reversal, though, at 51.5, right back through to 50.5 here for AI, doing all kinds of volume.
All right, there goes PayPal, man. No, and Jude, I saw you say that at the beginning of the day. You may not have a chance to dip by this one, and it looks like you're going to be right on PayPal right now as that continues to go to the upside. So a nice winner for us from last week. We'll definitely look at that. There goes Palantir, guys, breaking through 20s. So we're already long downside at 05. Whoa. We like that break to the upside, so we'll take a little bit more out right now, and hopefully Palantir can continue to work now through the upside. It's got beat down last week. This is not the Palantir show. This is just an opportunity here to trade that, I believe. Wow, look at QS, man, QuantumScape. We try to cover pretty much, I mean, I don't think we try. I think we do a damn good job of covering all the stocks here that we possibly can. QS, wow, right back to 40. This is the level that I dumped this thing at when we were long. I did like the play. I still believe in the solid state battery. I mean, you get all this love today for this sector, but there goes QS, man. Congratulations, anybody that's been on this tip. This is a winner for everybody. It looks like as long as you bought in the last couple months, you've been a winner here on QS, straight up to the upside. Congratulations on that one, guys.
And Boeing now up 4%, so it looks like it is taking it. Well, I'm going to go to the higher time frame you guys can see here. It looks like it is taking out that 230 level. I was able to get an average price of 230 now on a couple of legs because I was late and I had to catch it on the way up, on some of it on the way back in. But that's that 200 period here. And this has been resistance for quite some time. Now, the context is the market is coming down a little bit here, but I mean, Boeing has its own news catalyst. I'm going to take it in here and see if we can't hold it down to about that 228 level, give it a couple of bucks, see if it can't finally break out of this range that it's been for quite some time. I just got my first leg into sundial there in front of 92s. That resisted the break at the open and looks like it's trying to make a secondary push to some lower highs on sundial at 94. Brendo?
Busy week for cannabis names, potentially with some legalization talk to come. 5% here, OGI moving around, just trying to take out 250 there right off the bat, but huge volume on those. Cron, Tilray, CGC, they all just popped up, guys, on volume.
So, yeah, we should have bought some of this dip here. So we're going to put another bid here into the 20s for this name. And of course, the name is Tilray. We're already long Tilray, long at 50 as it's starting to work now. We wanted this name and it looks like we got it. So a good trade here, hopefully for Tilray. We should have averaged in and now we will. Like we've just seen some strength. We've all seen these names start so nice and then finish so poorly. So let's wait to see what happens with Tilray right now. You can see this is the kind of choppiness that we're talking about from Friday. I mean, not much has changed over the weekend. Obviously, we'll see about that bill, and it should be exciting, so blah, blah, blah. But Tilray right now, this is what it kind of does. So if it can break out from here, then I like it. But we should have averaged in, and we'll try it one more time. If I can get out here at 70, we're long 51. We'll take a little bit out at 70. I think that's prudent. So we'll do that if it goes up there, but I do want to average back in to the long name on this cannabis side of things. Roblox went all the way up, and now it's come all the way back down. So we did get out of 2/3 instantly. We should have got out of them all as we was not able to break this 108.50. So we'll put another offer here right around view up and just close this trade. And if it continues to work for us, it does. We've got a lot of money elsewhere, guys.
Yeah, and we're going to put sundial. I got the first leg of sundial in here at 92. I do like the notion of getting more shares if it pops up 92.5, 93, somewhere along those lines. Hasn't really happened yet. Tesla, it got pretty far, getting up to 10.15, but 1,000 still very much on the radar here. I do like the notion. I'm going to take a long before I reverse into the short trade in Tesla. So I want to get a long off of 1,000, see if it can actually bounce at that particular level. We mentioned NVIDIA, with the market still looking a little bit weak. That's the wick in NVIDIA down to 300. It's all the way back into 303. For now, it looks like it's kind of like a wipeout bottom holding 300. You'd like to see it hold a higher low. I've already got the long in Boeing here. And then Rivian off to the races again. So the only thing left is that 135 from Friday. 135, of course, a big level, but that dip, I thought 126 would come into play. It reached that bottom on Friday. There was a chance to get those dips. Looks like we're not going to get that one on Rivian, but a dollar shy of the target we wanted.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go short on Rivian, so that's a great call there. Thanks for bringing that one up as we'll look at that as it's moving around. Roblox, 105 is going to be the bottom here for Roblox for us. So, if unfortunately, it looks like it's going to come back in, and then if we break below 104, I just got to make sure I have that order out, 104.50 or so, then we will get out. So if that does happen on Roblox, I'm just making sure we have the order out, which we do now, so that should be good there. Yeah, okay, so if Roblox, we'll take another bid here if we can get it 105.50 or so, and then give it another $1 to the downside, and I'm just kind of picking at levels right now. That's that 105 right there. Give it a little bit more down, 104.50 or so. So we're going to take a shot on Roblox and take it one more chance right inside there. All right, what was the other fill we just got? Okay, oh, yes, sir, there it is. Spin the money, because right now for the marijuana stocks, we are on fire right now, as that was a good call, man. Buying Tilray, we should have just bought the dips, but now we'll watch this go to the high side. There it is, so that was a good one. As this keeps on going upside, $14 right now for Tilray. Hopefully this continues to move. So far so good on this name. This is another 30-cent winner. AMD, it's funny because we got out on that 147 break. We are holding some of this, and by some of it, I literally mean a very small amount, just to see where we go. So we're going to watch out for 146. Rivian short is now on board, so we'll give this to 136.50 or so. Rivian now in a short, 134.50. What up, Mr. Wickens?
BFLY, little one, medical equipment maker. They make, guys, which is kind of cool, a handheld, single handheld ultrasound system for ultrasound. So anyways, BFLY down 17.5% after an earnings miss. So monster volume on this one, little teeny tiny one at $7, guys.
That's a fake out. I see a print on Tesla, 999.92 there, and looks like it wicked me out of my long. I just got back into it there because, you know what, that's not far enough. I'm going to go 999.50 or so because I just got back into it. It looks like it was an absolute fail break on Tesla. So it's back up to 1,003. I just got back. I get in. I don't think I should have gotten out of there. So I got back in just above those quarters. Rivian as well. I mean, looking at 135. So, I mean, oddly enough, long in one, short the other. They weren't necessarily following each other last week, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a trouble. 135 is that sort of line in the sand for Rivian here. That was that high from Friday. It's not sort of a random. Well, it is an even number as well.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just
There it
looking.
goes.
Okay, oopsies. Yep, I'm not paying attention. Rivian, yeah, there goes, sorry, was it? Yeah, there goes Rivian. So we're waiting for 136.50. That's my bad. I wasn't even paying attention to that place. So we're going to watch out for Rivian here. Trying to break, obviously, higher now. So this is going to be a missed call for us. 136.60. We tried the short. We're trying to hold out for this one. It looks like the momentum is just rock solid here on Rivian. So, wow, what a great move that's been so far. But we're not too bad. We are short right now, 134.50. So we're out of the money $1 there. We've given it to that same high that we talked about, 136.50. So here comes the screaming right back down. So far, so good. We survived that Rivian scare for now, as we are right now back $1 in the money on Rivian. So I think I'd like a 132, man. If we can take a piece off right there, consider us lucky as we just absorbed that fade right there. So actually, let's just wait to see. Maybe we settle back down in here. So Rivian, so far, so good on this trade.
Yeah, and this time it looks like the break has happened on Tesla. So I did get into the short. I reversed into a long on Rivian. It looks like that's going to be no good. But I'm now short Tesla on the real break. It looks like that one has definitely come through. Let's go get out of this Rivian because Tesla's going to be falling like an absolute rock here. And flipping is slow. There we go. Tesla was a long a couple of times. Now we're reversed. I'm short, essentially at 999, pretty much on a dime. And we're just going to see how far it goes. I'm still in that Boeing to the long side. Still like that one pretty much. I think it's going to be a pretty solid trade. GGPI continues to bounce over and over and over again off that 14 even, so I'm probably going to have to cover this one. It looks like that one could be stalling out in terms of any kind of a long trade. I got to give Tesla at least back to this 105 to 110 area. If it's going to be the final break, which we thought could be coming like last week, which didn't happen, at some point you think it's going to like a 950. If this is it today, fantastic. If not, good for the long-term shareholders that once again it's held this 1,000 level.
Faux show. Okay, so Rivian, man, it goes in the money for us $3. We don't take it. So we're going to have to hope for a little bit more than that. Palantir, nice move to the upside. It's going back to day's high right now. Whoopsies. That would be Palantir going back to day's high. Sorry about that. So we'll see if that can continue to make a march. We do like this breakout. We talked about this today. Palantir been a nasty little move to the downside. And hopefully now we're starting to see some profit taking, hopefully on some of those shorts, on a cover back up. And we could blow out right now, get back going. I need the 20-minute chart right here to show you guys. Here's the level that we're just taking out. That's what we liked, 23.20. So now we're going to we're not going to try. We are going to hold this. Come on, Rivian. Look at Tilray, man. This was a great trade for us. Tilray in, out at 14, small piece right now. Palantir running, AMD, 55 cents in the money. We talked about holding this. This goes right back to day's high. Damn it. We just should have took some more, man. This is a great day for us. Hopefully it's a good day for you. What's up, Beef?
Speaker maker Sonos, guys, having a pretty good day here, 3.5%. Big time breakout level just coming up here, 35 to 35.5, which is up here still, but decent volume here, 3.5% for Sonos. Earnings on Thursday for them.
Sonos earnings on Thursday. There was not related, well, not related, but I think it's Sono. It's like an EV, kind of like an EV, but like a solar powered one. And this is going to be coming to market with IPO on Thursday. I'm pretty interested to see how that does go. Sundial popped up. I just saw it fail through 95, like wicked up, gets back below that 95 level. I like getting in on the way down if I can do it instead of the way up. So we just got into that one, some more shares. Boeing, which, I mean, for all intents and purposes, felt like it was, starting to really amplify to the upside. It's now slowly grinding higher. I am getting an offer out there in front of 231.5, just to make sure I'm covering some in front of 235, because as the market doesn't look as strong as I anticipated, Boeing could certainly slow down on me in the breakout, not nearly as good as I think it could have been. GGPI I've now covered. Looks like that 14 level, looks like that, oh, come on. There you go. That 14 levels held up pretty nicely. When it bounced off 14 even, I just elected to get the rest of those shares out, the short in front of 15, still holding the Tesla short. Oatly still, I mean, it's relatively weak, but it's caught a bit of a bid a couple of times here at $9. I still feel the short can be good because it's failed twice at 10 even, but if it comes up through that 10 again, it could be a potential break. Remember the short interest on Oatly. If this catches a bid, you don't want to get caught off guard. I'm stopping this short out, which is at 9.79, through 10 even. If it pops, I'm not reversing to a long, but I don't want to be holding that short forever. Miss V is at the big screen. She's got a familiar name there.
Hey Neil, a positive day for Meta platforms. Stock is up more than 3%. Do you guys see any opportunities in Meta for yourself today?
Meta? What
Loving
is
some Meta. What is Meta? I mean, this has been a big trade for me, Metaverse on Facebook, man. We put that back in our account at 311, and that's just rocking and rolling right now. We will check that out in a minute. I just want to go back over here to Rivian. It stopped at that level that we talked about numerous times right here. So I'm wondering about it at this point, obviously, as we go here, because 132, that might have been a hot level right there. So I don't know. We'll wait. I'm still hoping for more downside here on Rivian. But for right now, it's $2 in the money, and we're looking at that. AMD, man, like what a wild ride. You want to talk about a wild ride? Like that was just bang up there to 147.80. We're like, what the? So we'll average into this 146.20. This is why we have this trade, right? We were never thinking that this was going to be that monster for us to the upside here, but it did turn out to be that way as it just took off. So let's wait to see now what happens with this. We're going to average into it. If it breaks through 146, fine. Maybe we can pick a nice little bid up here and then let this thing rip to the high side for us. So that's what I'm hoping on right now with AMD as we'll wait on it. Palantir still now 15 cents in the money. The breakout is on, hopefully, and it's real. So let's see if we can hold a little bit. I think it's silly not to get something out. 05, 20s, and now you're up to 40. So let's get a little bit more out here on this beatdown neighbor the last little while. Palantir, good pickup down there at 22 bucks.
Yeah, and here's the NASDAQ sort of touching these 16.2 lows. And if it doesn't manage to bounce off of this, I mean, you look at that Facebook one, which is a great breakout, by the way. And then Facebook, back down to this 347. I think it's going to have a ton of support there, especially that 350 area. So even if the market doesn't hold up, Meta has been on a, whatever, man. We'll go
I like Meta, whatever.
Meta has been on a bit of a nice tear, and I do feel like a relative strength that it's put in today. Let's lock that one and file it away in terms of any kind of a dip buy. But if you don't already have this breakout, maybe look back at 347 to 350. Tesla, which we did reverse into, now starting to fall again. It just broke the lows. I'm looking for down around 990. Remember, it failed at 990 last time, so I want to cover some shares 992. See if I can't lock in $7 here. But the market just broke that bottom again. Brendan?
DLTR, guys, breaking highs just as the market's breaking down here. All-time highs, in fact, for Dollar Tree up 11%.
So here it is, right on the sticky note here. We talked about Rivian, guys. There it is. Nicely done for me anyways on that side of things. We'll take that $3.25 on Rivian. We'll hit it. We'll get this music started off right here today as we are rocking and rolling right now, man. What a great day. So far, so good for us. Tilray monster moves, man. Rivian still nicely in the money. Pay save. Oh, yeah. New position alert. We did get that pay save. So I'm just going to do the same thing as before. We have a decent position. If we can get out, like machine gun this all the way to the upside, great. If it gives us the out, I'm hoping that it does. That's going to be a good trade for us, hopefully. There's our AMD. So we finally get into that one here. We do have the out happening below 146. Where are we long? We just got a nice long there. So we'll take an offer there. Yeah, there it is. There's that bid that I mean, let's effing go right now. Let's rain down the cash. This has just been an amazing pickup over and over and over again on AMD, man. We let this thing fall down and we pick in these bottoms and we have outs, man. Like our out is 146. So right there, a nice rip up. There's a rebuy, 146.50, right? Out, 147, like 50 cents smooth like that. We'll take that all day. Let's put that in our pocket and smoke it. So there it is. Nice trade on AMD. Hopefully that continues to go. PaySafe now 3.45 cents in the money and still going. Rivian still $3 in the money. Palantir 18 cents in the money. And then AMD right there 50 cents. So let's go. Let's get another piece out on AMD. See if we can hold this for a high side. But it's a good break for us and we're super, super happy and pleased.
Speaking of high.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Well, speaking of high, Sundial now in negative territory for the first time today. Just rolled over again. So the pop and fade trade, as usual on Sundial, it has the same result so far. If it gets down to about 88 cents, I mean, definitely that's been a double bottom in the pre-market. I want to make sure I get the rest. I mean, I already got some shares out in front of 90. The next leg will be getting some shares out in front of 88. And then if that breaks, looking at 85. Looks like that dollar breakout will have to wait on Sundial. Brendo?
Just saw Roblox popping up, guys. Another one that made a big move over the past couple of weeks, if you remember, all the way up about 109, 110. Resistance last week. We're trying to get above that. Currently came back into 106 and bounced hard for Roblox.
Yep. Yeah, that Roblox was a great trade, man. We're actually, I can't believe we got out of that, but that was a good one. Look at this bottom pick. I mean, you want to talk about something, let's just spin this. We haven't done any bangs today, but we're going to because there's a hell of a lot of trades that are on board right now that are bangable. Look at 106 and change downside. Boom, boom. Both of these out, out, out. Look at Palantir as we continue on Palantir. Ooh, you know what? I mean, Palantir, crazy high right there. Look at AMD though. AMD with a nice move right back up. I think this is right at view up there. We'll take an offer around 30. Is that view up is 30 exactly? So we'll take an offer here if you can go back up to the upside. But right now, so far, so good on all of these plays, guys. AMD, PaySafe, need to get this a little higher. I mean, we just got some out there, but boom, boom. But we'll see if we can go even higher than this on PaySafe. Long 30 up to 34. We'll take this out on the way up. We do have a nice position here.
And one that we did bring into news to you guys, Cassava Science is actually moving further to the downside, down to 62. It looks like it was a bit of a flush play. It's now through the 200 period. I mean, if this gets down to 55, it might get interesting for you-know-what kind of a bounce. Just hasn't really happened yet. Boeing really not going anywhere. It's kind of holding that range. If it breaks 228, I got to get out of this one and give it up. And that Oatly, the more it kind of holds this level above VWAP here at 960, this is a stock that could get off the bottom. And if it breaks 10 even, I haven't really been leaning into the notion that I could reverse into a long on this stock, but hey, it doesn't seem to want to break 9 even. It does have that big short interest that we checked, so watch out. I mean, I'm short and it's worked so far, but heck, if this thing breaks 10 even, it might be a reverse to the long side on Oatly. Brendo?
Just saw Clover Health, guys, having a big day here. Not seeing anything significant, but heavy volume. To the upside, 7.5 just breaking there on Clover.
That's dollar train.
Okay, we'll take that as we've been liking Clover for a bit, and yeah, we've haven't traded it for a bit either. There's Palantir. Look at that, man, another one. And again, if you're, guys, please try to follow if you can, because I talk a lot and we do put a lot of work into everything that we do, including our watch list. But there's 2320 right there. It's the #1 stock on this. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit the everything. Unless you don't want your friends to see winning trades, then don't do any of that. But there's Palantir right there, 2320. How about looking for a dip buy into 106 Roblox? Like, how about all these ideas? Like, and then, Rivian. We talked about it at 130. We wanted it to go down to 124. That didn't happen. How about weed names? Tilray Long. How did that work out? PayPal buy the dips. We didn't have that. How about buy the dips on NVIDIA, on AMD? So, I mean, right now, you know what? Yeah, let's keep it secret, man. Don't tell anybody about this show because we want to keep all the money right here. But if you want to get support us and support the show, please, at that point, please share it for sure. There's Palantir. There's that 2320 break, man. Boom, right up to 50. That's a good trade for us. PaySafe, everything else working out. We got to look for some more. Microsoft was
Blink just broke high today here.
Yeah, okay. I was just going to look for some new highs of the day. Microsoft was 340. So go over and let's have a look at Blink. I don't have any EV names on my board.
Blink just broke high of the day, but keep in mind there is, last week 43, even more like 42.90. This is the real top. I think it has to take out 43. That's from last week. So high today is nice. You want to make that fresh high, and then it's a real breakout here coming on Blink charging. I'm going to have the stop order at 43. I know 42.90 technically is that top. We tend to like even numbers a little bit better around here. They just tend to work out a little bit better. I don't like breaking out into a high-a-day break if it's right into resistance like this. I just feel like a lot of times that gets you in a little bit of trouble because your risk to reward isn't as nice. Certainly a 43 break on Blink can look pretty good. That sundial managed to bounce, it looks like, off of 90. I'd reload in front of 95 and 95 alone. But Blink to the long side we're looking at. I mean, Rivian here, I just saw it bounced off of VWAP, but not really moving. That stock started to barcode a little bit at this time on Friday, and I think trading it too much got me into trouble. GGPI, which we did like for a bit of a bounce off of 14 even to cover the short, still feels like it's relatively weak. It just got up to VWAP here, and if it can't break 1475, we're going to have to take a run at this one to the sell side again. I know a lot of people are betting on Polestar. To the long side, Tesla, it broke that 99. It just tested VWAP. We said we like that 105. I did get some more shares in there, scalped it to 1,000. I'll scalp to 990 and then see if I can't hold on to it. Keep in mind the market is coming back here quite heavily. Well, I shouldn't say quite heavily, but a decent bounce after breaking those lows in the NASDAQ, and then we're right back above that 16.2. So a bit of a rebound happening in the overall market. I'm not giving up on Boeing until it breaks 228. I'm also not really taking any profit till it gives me close to $2. And then Tesla short. The thing about Tesla short is it was a little bit counter trend at times last week. And if it really does follow through on this break, remember on the daily chart in Tesla, it's pretty much aired 900. That's why I feel like there might be some panic sellers in here. It's been a good short at least a couple of times here. You don't want to sit there and look a gift horse in the mouth. If it doesn't break 990, I'll make sure I take some profit. And then Sundial, it's kind of its own beast. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not really sure. Actually, I'm not sure what Tilray's doing at this particular point. But Sundial, one more leg in front of 90. It just failed at 92.5 in VWAP, and I do think we're retesting that 88 level. There's a lot of people that I think thought we're going to get to that dollar range off of that, I guess, buyback. Relatively speaking, it wasn't that large of a share buyback. It was like 5% of the outstanding shares. It just sounded impressive.
Okay. We almost bought right there. We almost got, I mean, hopefully we can come back in. I tried. I sat on the bid. Like, this is just goes back to my scalping days. And sometimes, I get caught like not being aggressive enough on some of these bids or offers. And so, unfortunately, I put a bid on Lucid at 53. And then as soon as I hit enter, man, the thing ripped up. But that's fine. So we'll see if it can fade back in. I do like some Lucid off of 44.30 or so. If we can get some Lucid longs, we would like to take that. So we'll take that try in right now for Lucid. We do have, I said I didn't have any electric names. I mean, obviously, we electrified this market with some more money for us on Rivian. And so that was a great trade for us. So that's one name that we do have, but I am trying to get into some more Lucid right now. It's $3 in the money on Rivian. Just so you guys know, I'm not holding this one back too far. I like this trade. Like Neil mentioned, barcoding on Rivian. 134, if it goes back up, we're going to get out of that one. So that's so far so good on Rivian. So it's just a trade that we're looking at here to add to our position if we have to. But I'm going to get out at 134, then add to it back up here. I don't need this thing to break, and then we wipe out those profits. So we'll wait to see what Rivian has to tell us about that. PaySafe's doing nothing. Palantir is just continuing to make moves. I'm still thinking 2350 gets cracked. That's nice. And then, look at AMD right now. This is the banger right here for me anyways. AMD, just talking about buying these dips. It's all on the sticky note. And then hopefully we can go to Valerian in about a couple minutes for this. But like 2,000 likes, let's get to 3,000. At one point we had 5,000 and Valeria would dye her hair, and she did dye it. I think, what did we wind up doing? Pink, I think, that one time. So let's see if we can get more. Look, you guys got to support the Memes and Movers show, I think, to get a dye job out of her. But for right now, up 2K. Let's see if we can't get to 3. What say you, Miss V?
Hey, Sean, I absolutely agree with you. We can get 3,000 likes as we have more than 7,000 of viewers. And yes, I'll do anything for likes. If we get 3,000 likes today, you guys can request any color for me to dye my hair. And absolutely, please share the video with your friends and on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Back to you.
And back to some, like you said, electrify.
That was too easy what Miss V did.
It probably.
I mean, we need to set our bar much, much higher, so we'll work on that.
I think we could definitely.
Thank you, Miss V. We'll get to 3K first. Sorry, go ahead, Neil.
Look, it's stepping stone.
People like the rainbow. The rainbow dye job is way too hard.
Well, yeah.
I think.
That's a bit much.
I think.
Although I can't say anything about dyeing hair because I had like a catastrophic failure in university when we tried to do a little something fun on our track team, and we learned our lesson. It's not an easy thing to do to get it right.
You got to know what you're doing.
You definitely have to know what you're doing. Now, Blink here, it's holding up at that 43. Now, look, when you get a break like this on the daily chart, by the way, I should have showed you this last time. On the daily chart, 44.5 here, and then 46. Definitely levels to take some profit out. But when you get a double top breakout like this, you want to give it some time to run. I'm not sure it's wrong until it gets back below 42, and first resistance isn't until like $1.50 away. So we do want to make sure we give this one some room to run here. It's a little bit bigger of a trade than I think if you had like a 42 break, which I might only give 50 cents. I'm giving it a full dollar. Tesla looks like, and again, look, I'm as much of a Tesla bull as anybody else, I think, in some ways, but I'm going to put the short on after it looks like it's weak. It's trying to break 995. I want to take some out in front of 990 and then see if I can hold the rest. But it's already 10 o'clock. And that means Brendan at the big screen happening now.
Hey guys, yeah, positive start to the new week. Let's get into not Prad. This is the North American board here. 0.16 for the S&P, 0.2 for the Dow leading the way. NASDAQ struggling a little bit. We're trying to get back to the upside, but some of the gains we saw in the pre-market coming off there, as we've been saying for tech names. The Russell, I wanted to mention, where is it? I don't see it right now. Oh, there it is. The Russell was up about 0.5% all the way back to about break even as well, but still in positive territory. Let's have a look at a couple of things we were talking about in the pre-market. Charge point, big flush down to 26.10. We're right back to 27 though, trying to bounce pretty hard here. 0.5% to the upside for CHPT. The other one, Boeing, did give you a really nice move there through that pre-market high up to 231, but coming back in as well, guys.
Oh man, that Boeing trade, yeah, it's going to make me sick for a bit because we did talk about that, of course, Boeing. So good call there. And some of these names you just need catalysts for, and we've been talking about Boeing for a while. You need to get some of those Chinese orders, and now you're seeing some more come through right now. So good hold there. I mean, we're long Boeing for a while. I think it's only 208 or something off some of those bottoms, so a good look there. PaySafe, a couple times it's gone to 35 and we've gotten out, so now we can hold it. We do only now have about half of this position left. Look, it's money in our pocket. It's not a lot because it hasn't gone, but we're still trying to defend some of those bottoms. What's been a lot of money has been AMD, up again, right, almost near day's high, as we have, it looks like the bottom tick of the day, so we're going to hold on to that one. And then attention to Lucid. We did get a Lucid bid there, so we're long at 60, so let's just keep on motoring here with Lucid, as that looks like that's going to be a winner as well here. Long at 44.60 on Lucid, right back to 45. Let's just take this out and put some money in our pocket one more time.
Yeah, and Dollar Tree, look, it's going to be a miss for me, obviously. We like Dollar Tree to the long side. It makes the breakout, then does the dip buy after the open, that little fade. It's not a stock that did a lot of pre-market volume. So, not being willing to take it in the pre-market is probably going to burn me there. But it's strong. We liked it, and hopefully someone got that to the long side. Looks fantastic. Tesla there, I would have wanted to hold it to 990, but it just put in a double bottom at 995. So I will take another leg out there for a little bit of profit. And, we can ring the register on some Tesla there as it goes timber. This market is trying to hold up. I mean, the ES is like 0.1. The NASDAQ is 0.05. But if we crack negative on both these, forget about 990 on Tesla. I do think we're testing a little bit lower than that. And by a little bit, I'd say like 975, 980 could be in the cards. That means Sundial is going to be weak. But Boeing should have had the first trade because the second one doesn't work out there. We take that 230 breakout, give it to 228. It stops me out, so Boeing is going to be a loser. Ugh. Boo. Oh, you know what? I've never used this one before. What's this? That's an old one. It doesn't even work. Okay, whatever. Actually, maybe I don't even like
punking me, Neil. I see what it's like.
Well, I didn't know what it did. I think it was supposed to be on my solo shop. But anyways, Boeing should have had the first break. The second one not so good. This CREX, which was on my radar before, I saw that early in the pre-market here, looks like it's heading on a bit of a downward trend until it got to 240. If it tests back up to this 275 and fails at 275, where opening range top, lower high in the pre-market, I think that can be a bit of a rollover. But the story right now, at least for me, is going to be Blink. We'll see if that can follow through. That's still in the money. And then, of course, Tesla to the short side. I mean, Sundial, whatever. That just continues to fall. Brendo?
WeWork, guys. We mentioned when it came out of the SPAC, the initial day, really haven't gotten back to it. Did have a nice positive day that day. We're all the way down here at 8.5, 9, trying to bounce this morning after earnings for WeWork, up 4%.
Yeah,
really,
that's a name that
WeWork.
Yeah,
huh?
we've sort of stopped looking at WeWork, haven't we? There, so maybe we
wonder
should.
why.
Yeah, maybe we should one more time. We haven't really even looked at WeWork, to be honest with you. We didn't have it the IPO day, and since then we haven't looked at it, so we will do that. Okay, one more pickup here on Tilray. This is the level that we thought it was going to fall to earlier. We thought it was going to fall to 11 or so. It came right back into here. So we'll pick up another spot right now on Tilray and just see where we go on this name, as it looks like it's not going to be in danger here. But there it is. There's another pickup at 25. A quick out at 30. Now we'll let this thing go upside. That was a small amount. I thought it was going to crash in here and we'd get lower. So now we'll wait. We're going to get some out at VWAP, hopefully 1340. So far so good. AMD continues to be a stock that we absolutely love here as it's back to day's high. I do have an out though, 147, basically a 148 break, a little bit lower than that. We'll check this 147.90. And this is the thing, man. Like, is this really a carnival? I don't think so, because we are strategically, making these bets and giving you our ins and our outs. I mean, it's why we looked at Roblox this morning. We wanted to buy strength, or we wanted to buy weakness, thinking that it was going to be a strong stock. We're 100% right on that. In, out right there. That was a good trade for us. Ooh, Lucid, we did not. Oh, we did get an out. So we did get her out at 90. We just got back in right now. So Lucid is going to be another one of these, man, as it's starting to go upside again for us. So long Lucid back to 54. We've already got in 60. Out 90 there. So we took 30 cents already. Now we'll see if we can do it again. Here it goes. Let's take another piece out, man. If we can just keep on doing this, we'll do it. Lucid, another 20-cent win here for that. So this is called scalping. Let's just continue to do it.
And one name which is coming, well, it tried to come back there, I guess Oatly rejected $10 another time. I still think it has a chance. If it holds VWAP here, I'm going to cover this trade and get a reversal at 10 even, but it has to hold VWAP. Once it gets back below 950, I throw that out the window because it looks like it's pretty weak, and we'll hold it to those lows. That Blink tried to get through the high again. This is Blink charging, sort of consolidating off of this top here. Go ahead and cancel that order. 43.38 current high, 43.50 obvious resistance. At this point, it's made its dollar range, so giving it back to 42 doesn't make a ton of sense. I'll stop it out at 42.5, but I do think it can be worth a bit of an add here at 43.5 if I can get it. Tesla looks like it's going to be good to go holding into that short. Again, it's just relatively weak overall. NVIDIA, as you saw with AMD sort of bouncing, NVIDIA did retest 300 a couple of times, and there was a break by like 17 cents. So it looks like it did break 300 and then came right back in, but VWAP being a bit of a problem here as it rejects time and time again. If the market gets its legs under it and NVIDIA's held 300, I think that can be a reversal to the long side. There's a bid on Sundial at 90, which has been a holding. If this does go, I'll want to make sure I get some shares out in front of 89, because as the buyers start to step into this, you don't want to turn a good trade into a loser, so I do have to start taking profit. If it's not going to be able to break this 88 bottom, let alone this 90, then it looks like you might get the home run trade. If it's only going to be 5%, it's only going to be 5%, although usually Sundial gives you a better move when it starts to fall.
Okay, so a couple stories to update you guys on right here, as it's just an up and down story today for Lucid. We're still positive on the stock, which is great, which is why we took that last out. Well, that's not why. We always had this breaking spot at 44.20. We talked about that. So no more orders to go for Lucid. It just got cracked, but there's in and out, and we talked about it being a scalper. So there it is, man. We still are profitable on Lucid because there's the dip by 44.60. There's the out 90. That's 30 cents. There's another one, 54 out 70, so that's 24 cents. So remember, we have that 54 still on, and then that's out 26, 24. So that's 30 cents. So those two trades cancel, still leaving us with that. Sometimes it works out pretty good for us in that favor. And sometimes it doesn't when you start to scalp in and out. And we held AMD, so this is a nice win, man. 146.50 all the way up. It got out at 147.90. So a $1.50 win there. We did, you know what? I mean, we can't always get it out when it rips up, because if it continues, that's great. But here we go, an out on AMD. We had a great out on AMD. I don't know if it shows. No, it's not going to show, but we got out of AMD somewhere around here on Friday, or no, maybe it was even, maybe it was here. Yeah, it was here, I think. This is Friday, yeah. So it was Friday about here, and then it just dripped the rest of the way down. So I'm okay with this out. Whether or not it goes up or down from here, we will wait to see. Tilray, again, we got a nice piece out there. Not a nice one, but it is dipping back down. We'll see if we can buy some more and try to defend this 13 area. But Tilray dripping a little bit to the downside. Clover was a nice one. Someone mentioned SoFi. Yeah, SoFi so good today. Nice move, 3% it was. Now 3% it was. Now 5% up for SoFi as that keeps on murking shorts. Nice move. The upside is this level, 25. Look at that. hit 25, hit 25. So we're coming into 25 again on SoFi. So yeah, okay, we'll get to that. Oh, $20. We like that, man. We like that. Thank you so much, Amigo. Amigo Bing. Neil's Pizza Fund. So that's good. We'll have to check out the price of pineapple right now.
No, there was no mention of pineapple on that pizza. It's just.
But we
pizza.
all know the pizza. We have the National Pizza Day. We have that logo with you on it. Is that a Fugaze ad there? Thank you so much. We will find that. The play of the day for me is going to be Palantir. I think you buy that on any weakness. And thank you so much, Amigo. Maybe if Neil has a play that he likes right now, he's going to talk about.
Well, it's going to be Tesla.
Okay, we'll talk about Tesla in a minute. Just quickly to Brendan, and then we'll come back to Mr. Roberts.
Yeah, just a sell volume alert there, guys, on CCL. We were talking about some of the airlines there in the pre-market. This was also higher, nicely higher for CCL, up to 2270. But you can see volume coming into the downside as we break through some of these support levels for Carnival.
Yeah, so I see this SSNT that everyone's talking about here. Just, I mean, I can gloss over Tesla for a second because 990 is going to be in play any second now. But this SSNT has been moving quite heavily. If 990 breaks, I'm going to start looking for that 980 out on Tesla. This is the second halt. It doesn't matter if it loads up. The second halt to the upside on this SSNT. So it could be a bit of a crazy one here. Look, in the daily chart, you're going to get some levels at about $10 if it does reopen and fail that price. I think 10 is where you look at. Is an obvious level, but you can always hit these ones out. We talk about this all the time. There is no need to trade these super parabolic halt style trades. I like them because of their setups that I like, and then usually we get relatively cheap pay for shorts as well, guys. So SSNT is on my radar, but certainly one that for a lot of people, if you're not involved, don't have a good long, you don't necessarily have to hunt shorts. It can be dangerous. Brendo?
This is a tiny IT services company. 1.9 million free float on this. They're acquiring this Acumatica division of Dynamic Tech Services. So picking up another division of another company for that's SSNT. Silver Sun, guys.
Take this.
Okay. Looking right here quickly at a new trade idea, hopefully for some of you guys here. Yes, so right now, big move upside here for Facebook. So I like this name. Meta is brought to us earlier. Thank you for that. And those of you that looked at this know how much I love these tech names, and this has just been my most recent buy down there at 311. And wow, right back to 350. I mean, I told you that just on the forward moving PE alone, this is one of the most under-loved stocks around, but they're getting the love now in the last 2 weeks. So a nice move up. There we go. We take a position right now. You saw me put that on live. 350.46. So right away in the money, another 50 cents on this name. We'll see if we can retest or retake this 352. We're going to get out if we break through VWAP, man. A 349.50 break or so, or even less than that, 349.70 break. We're going to get out of this one, but I'm going to put an offer right here at 352-ish. Maybe we get a bump up. Look, if Meta's going up like this, well, the market's going down. If the NASDAQ finds a base here, maybe this continues to make a move upside. If it doesn't, we'll get out. So there's no doubt about that. But let's see if we can't take a Facebook print here around 352.20 and go to the bank with that one. Hopefully, we'll see. But that's a new position. Tilray, 5 cents in the money. Palantir's faded back in, and we've got out. So Palantir off of what was a big trade there, you can see when it goes up to 50, those of you know, those are good levels for us. So I love trading off 50. So there it is. Now we're kind of barcoding right here. But the breaks already happened. So, I mean, we could dump. Let's get out of the rest of it if it breaks back down below here. But so far, so good on Palantir, one of my #1 stocks today. But we are going to get out if it breaks back down below 23.20, guys.
Yeah, I just watched Tesla for a second time here. Whoops. Well, that's on Twitter. I just watched Tesla for a second time bounce off that 990. So why is that still on Twitter? That's kind of crazy. I did click Tesla. There you go. And then Tesla is still on Twitter. That's a bit of a pain in the junk. There we go. So it just bounced 990 2 or 3 times. I'm out of it. It was a good, I think, reload there at 1,005. And if it bounces off 990 again, I'm not done with the notion that it could be a short. I just feel like it was a failed breakdown, 1,000 the first time, then a jailbreak long. I don't want to get caught not taking profit here. So we'll lock it in. I think it was a good idea for that reversal. I did try the long in front of it because it was so good the last time. Reversed into the short, was able to catch it off of VWAP. But if 990 holds, I do think we should be headed back to at least 10.25. But if that 990 breaks on the other side, remember we talked about that floor being almost non-existent. So I could be wrong getting out of it too early. I still think I can short some pops here if I even get them. Of course, that's the downside of getting out. You might not find yourself into a re-entry point. But Tesla, it's been a good short. Might not be over, but I took my profit. Brendo?
One from last week. We were talking about this on Friday in the semiconductor group. Everspin Technologies off of earnings had a big, huge move on Friday up to 11. So just breaking back through that high there, 11.5 on volume for MRAM.
All right, so not mRNA, as that's starting to go as well. Look at Tilray right here. Beautiful move. We caught this bottom again. So, and I don't have any offers. No, I do not. I was just making sure that's a bid lower. So that's going to be a good trade for us on Tilray as it's starting to go upside, man. So we just hit the weed. Let's hit the weed Batman. This is one of my favorites. It's one of the very first things we've ever done. Here was weed Batman. We have Valeria Batman as well. But look at this, man. Just long and out, long again. Pick the bottoms, and now we'll watch this thing go up 20 cents now in the money. Facebook 40 cents in the money. You saw me take that one live as well, so we'll tee that one up. We'll hit the cowbells for some of the. We have no negative stocks today, believe it or not. Rivian out right there, positive, done, boom. Actually, might retake this. Didn't even realize that happened. Tilray, beautiful stock there as well. Roblox doesn't get much better than that right away. We were right away in the money, $2 on that name. PaySafe. Profitable stock. Wish it was a little bit higher than that. Palantir, we don't have to talk about that. That's been a monster for us. Lucid by the skin of our teeth. Profitable Lucid today as well. Facebook still position pending. Could have just took 50 cents, didn't. AMD, let's hit the home run and punch out the screen here on AMD today to round up our most profitable, all of our stocks today. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for 8 today with that. So that's an explosion there. And it's only 10:17. So if you can, guys, hit the like, please. We're almost at 3,000. I'd love to get that up. We're 8 for 8 today. All clean trades, no averaging in really, nothing too fancy. So there it is. If you can hit the like, but more importantly, hit the share. We'd like to get as many people. I have almost 30,000 or so Twitter followers. Make sure that you follow all of us on Twitter, on Instagram and everything. It's me and the main account on Instagram, but we all do have Twitter. So it'd be really great to have some of you follow us, like it, like the sticky note, like everything. I think we're doing a good job trading. Neil's traded lots of names today as well, so let's just go.
For us, that SSNT, believe it or not, I actually just try to make a trade in that stock, and it's actually restricted, so it doesn't really do enough volume. It's actually security, well, not a security, it's like a safety thing. If things have too low, I suppose, levels of liquidity or volume in day trade the world, they can be blocked until they do more volume, just to protect traders from themselves oftentimes. So I'm going to get that one unblocked because I do want to trade it. MRAM, however, it did do a failed break just now through 1150. Got to 1160 and then pull back down. So I like those if it's a consolidation lower on any kind of a parabolic move. I did get in at 35s. We'll see if we can't give this one to that 50 to 60 area, and then maybe a pullback into 11 even. Tesla's back down to 990. It looks like there might have been a chance to get back into this one to the south side there, but it was really only a move to 995. I need it testing back closer to 1,000 or VWAP to get me more enticed for that short trade. And then I still hold on to Oli and Sundial, which, hey, for the bulls out there in Sundial, it's again caught a bid. I got some out at 89, and it's right back into VWAP. So it's not dead yet. 88 is a double bottom. It's now even put on a higher low. So if you like this one to the long side, I'm not sure the story is completely done for you, although clearly the momentum is working against you. So the MRAM, new position for me. And then SSNT, I didn't want to get it unblocked, but MRAM just took out the high. And if this halts to the upside, MRAM hasn't halted yet. So if it does go into a halt state, this is one that I would want to take on that halt long in that 15-second window if we can get it, but it probably has to break 12 even to do that, at least 12:30 actually, given the fact this was from 11:25. So we tried the consolidation short, it broke out, gonna get out of that one and then look for only a halt long is what I want on MRAM, and then SSNT to get unblocked. 10:20, time for the small cap recap with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, a few moving around this morning that we were talking about. This one right before the open, EYPT, ending up going to be a red stock for me. This one, as I was saying, a very, very thinly traded, wide range type of stock. This 18.5 ends up being support right at the open. Did have to lighten up on that. Just had way too much too soon on this. So goes all the way up to 21.5, the other end of the range. Now we're chopping around in the middle. So if you take off the high and you take off the low, you know, we're just kind of chopping around in this $2 or $3, $3.50, I should say, range right now for EYPT. There was EV, that's not working at all. EVgo was another one that ended up being great once it failed at pre-market highs, gave you $1 straight to the downside, and a couple others we'll update for you guys.
Wow, man. It's a good thing we got out of the way of Rivian. So Tilray, we take another bid there. Apparently the GOP will introduce a bill. We already knew this was going to come, but now on news, hopefully, I mean, we already seen that big move upside. We could lose on this last piece. So if we do, we do. But we'll take another spot here on Tilray. Try to go that. Our Facebook got flushed, so we jinxed ourselves and put a loser on the board for Facebook. But just to go back, if we could take out this level right here, we'll average back in, but again, the news is now out there. We'll see about taking a small profit if it gets to 75, and then we'll see about taking out the high right now as cannabis obviously back on people's mind, which is what we waited for. So yeah, I just should have, it's too bad I'm not short, or sorry, not longer, that we didn't buy any dips in some of these names over the last little while, but yeah. Tilray, I don't know. I have to find out what my average price is, to be honest with you. But nice move back up. We'll take a bid. And if it breaks back down below 40s here, so, I mean, VWAP is 49.50. So I think if we can get back into this area, we'll get out. But some nice buys here for Tilray. It's on the sticky note, and it just continues to work 8 cents in the money right now.
Yeah, this SSNT looks like, I mean, it's a couple of halts, and it's holding below that last halt price at 908. I am watching MRAM came back in, so it's not going to hold to the upside at least anytime soon. I'd be probably shorting this one off of the highs if I had a chance. I'm not going to get that opportunity, I don't think, at least not at this point. It's likely to fall into VWAP, and then I'm not going to want to chase it by the time we can get those locates. But once it's like 1, 2, and potentially like a third fail break to the upside on these, I tend to not like chasing the long, so I'm going to stay away from any longs in SSNT that don't involve just clean even dollar break scalps, or maybe playing off of some kind of a halt level there, guys. Unfortunately, that's what it is, but you guys are going to probably like the fact that Sundial showing some strength. I'm still actually holding about 30% of the position left to the short side, and again, I want to give that to 95 if I can. If it puts in a lower high off pre-market lows, or pre-market highs, I should say, then it's not, I might get a reload here like 94, maybe 93 and a half, something along those lines. But if I hadn't taken profit, I certainly would be here at VWAP, but already got out of most of the trade. And unfortunately, Blink, second trade, is not going to hold VWAP in here. It just broke to the downside. So I like that breakout on the daily chart. It does not look like it wants to continue the move. All that said, on a bigger time frame, if it ends the day and can hold up at 40 even, I think there's a still another opportunity for a long. The breakout trade, I'm not giving all the way back to the low of the day, but if it can hold that low, I think it still has a chance to take that out. 44.60, still a bit of a target on the higher time frame. So from there, 40 to 44.60, a pretty good move. Just not sure the breakout for that $1 or $2 is going to work just yet in a weak market. Well, relatively weak.
Yeah, okay, so we picked up, okay, so this is, okay, Tilray, okay. This is working out real nice for us, man. We're smoking on this one right now, 13.50. Nice move back to the upside. We did average in. You can see our average price 58 right now, so we'll take some out 62, 63. That was a small position. Oh, we were already 7 cents in the money, so this average in really didn't do anything. We just got more shares down here, so that's going to be, looks like a good look for us right now on the downside. Palantir, you know what? Let's take another piece out on Palantir. I mean, it bounced, yeah, I'm going to offer that. It bounced nicely right here, back up. So if we can get out now 33s, we'll do it. Did we just get filled there? Yes, we did. Yes, sir. So that's it, man. Just put it on the board. The only thing that's been a problem for us was that Facebook. And again, part of that is, I guess, trading my own book a little bit there. I love this name, Facebook, as it's just been a monster here today, up 3% as the market's red. So a good name there. And again, talk my book again. Google, rate, I knew they didn't break through 3,000. But that's another level right here that we were looking at this morning. 3,000 bounced off 3K. So a nice move there for Google as well. So anybody holding this name has to be proud of that play as that keeps on moving. Let's check out CGC here.
Rivian 140.
Oh, that's what I wanted to get to. So yeah, go on to that. Did you punch the long ticket there?
No, I didn't get the long ticket on Rivian. I did have the long and then got stopped out of it at that about the 135. But now I'm 140 is a level I'm probably gonna be shorting. 150 is a level I'll probably try shorting as well. It's just when something like this eventually pulls back, and the reality is it probably has a better chance, I think, than some others of holding up for a longer period of time, I guess, given the nature of the volume in it and the nature of buyers being enthusiastic and wanting to hold. It's not like a crazy parabolic mover that's halting all over the place, but I still think there's probably like a $3 or $4 move minimum in here. I got 39 halves on this short, so I do want to be covering some in front of that. I guess that first dollar, that 37 is going to stand out a little bit here when it did a bit of a dip on that last breakout. So I'll have some legs out if you can get back down. 35, I think, is going to be support. But if 140 goes, I'm going to stop out and then look maybe for that failed breakout re-entry point to the south side. I'm just not chasing along this far in Rivian. Can't do it, won't do it. Especially, I mean, I got out of Tesla too early. That just broke 990 again, so that's headed down to 985. I'm thinking 980 is the first level that it might stop, and from there, it's guesswork because it's air on the chart in Tesla on the daily once you get below that 1,000, which we are now. So 900 really is the only official level. But riveting to the short side, we'll see what happens. Cross our fingers. It's a moonshot so far today.
Yeah, sorry, Jake. I know what you're saying here. The market that whenever I'm talking about the market, it's just the NASDAQ. That's really all that I care about. I don't really care about anything else there. So
you don't like the Dow?
We'll see. Yeah, I like the NAS. I mean, I like the ES, but most of the names that I'm going to be trading, and I think that a lot of you guys are trading too. I mean, look, there's Boeing, there's a lot of names, and I'll trade the actual market. But whenever I talk about the market, sorry for that, but that's what we're doing. TTD, the trade desk. TTD, another banger here. 105 and change. No, that's moving down, right? No. What's the trade desk doing today? Okay, now, yeah, sorry about that. All the way to the upside trade desk. Where did we come from here? TTD. Okay, yeah, we know that reverse split. Nicely done there. So the trade desk still bumping upside. We looked at Google. We love that name. Here it is on the 1 minute chart. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. As far as a trade, though, I mean, once again, another missed opportunity. Right into here. The trade desk should have been bought, off the open or any kind of dips down into 98. We don't get that dip today, but that break of the past high on Friday, great trade there for the trade desk. So good on anybody or whoever mentioned that. I hope you guys are still long that name. I'm not long. I wish I had bought that name.
It's a good one.
Clover, a nice bounce. So this is a name again that we've been peddling, and again, it's not. Like I said, we don't have any sort of clout to make this move. And thank you again. 8,000 watching right now. So thank you so much for that. If you haven't hit the like yet, please do that. I mean, we're trying to tell, it's a free show, obviously. And we're trying to get the Google algorithm to recognize us. So hopefully that will happen. But here's Clover. The reason why I like Clover, we can look at it on the 20-minute chart or on a daily chart, whatever we want. But we've been holding this $7 on Clover. So that's sort of the play there. I am long this name. So, that's, just in all fairness, but I like it because we're holding this $7 long. Obviously, it needs to break through 8, and we'll buy a little bit more, but I do like Clover, and I do like it when Brendan brings some more news to us. What's up?
I just saw Tyson, guys, just working through some of the other movers on the day. TSN up 2% here, just made a day high on decent volume as well. They reported in the pre-market, so Tyson Foods moving around today.
Look at that. As usual, good luck there, Brendan. So thank you. Rivian just came down to 137. We're going to take a hit the first time we traded. It's the second time through. It's a bit of a cleaner move in the upside of that 140 than it was at 135. Able to get some at 38s and then some at 37 for a couple of bucks. And then I still want to hold, not to VWAP, but the 135. If it does not break the high of the day, I'm targeting 135 out. Good to see Tyson Foods punch that high of the day in the mouth, as they say, or as I say, because why not? I like horrible puns. Cassava Sciences got a bit of a bid here. It didn't get to $60, but it got to like 61, caught a little bit of a bid. Volume not that great, so I'm being a little bit careful picking bottoms on that bad boy, especially with the market. I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit jittery about this, and maybe it's because I'm looking at the Tesla chart a little bit too much, but overall, you are seeing a little bit of a pullback at the ES and the NASDAQ trying to hold in positive territory. Facebook, it did pull back. It got through that 350. It manages to hold at least above that 347 for now. So the relative strength that was all over the place in Facebook is still there, up 2.5%. If this does flush further, you want to see if it can hold that 47. Otherwise, this might drag the market with it. And I think it's at the point where I can officially say it. I got out of Tesla too early, for sure. That 980 target that we originally had, if we stick to our guns, we did have this one. And again, I like to get out in the thirds. 990 was that failed breakdown the first time at 1,000. That's kind of the reason why I want to double bottom there. I thought that might be it. Obviously was wrong. Now 980 did get put in. I'm not going long on this thing yet. I'd need to see a little bit of a consolidation to give me some reasons to think it's a bit of a bottom, and especially with the ES and NASDAQ sort of holding, right on that flat territory here. NASDAQ just broke below. Not a reason to jump in early on Tesla. Hang on to the shorts that we got. Rivian looks pretty good for now. Sundials look good all morning. And you know what? Oatly actually, that's running out of steam to the downside of all things. So when the market falls, somehow Oatly seems to not be accelerating. Go figure.
Yeah, we talked about maybe the short interest being a factor on that one there, maybe is why it's not hammering to the downside, but still a good trade. You had a nice short there off the open. Tilray again. We got taken out there, so we flushed our. Did that work? Did I just flush myself down the toilet? I think I did. And we'll flush that trade down the toilet as it just comes out. So. again, didn't want that to come back in. We talked about not being a casino here and teaching, and I've been trading for 22 years now, and you gotta have down. It's easy, guys, to find winners. Sorry, it's easy to find losers, hard to find winners. So as you guys, that's so crazy the way that happens, though. It's like if you don't control your downside, then it just gets out of control. You always get out of your winners, right? You let your losers ride.
Yep.
And if there's one thing that we can teach, man, thank you again, Andra. We have to get that going. Hopefully we can figure that out, Lucas or Rob, or because I know Prad's working on it as well, where this automatically populates when we get a new member. So thank you so much, Andra. I know you're not new, but thank you so much for the 4 months. Yeah, hit the like button, show the support. Thank you so much, Andra. And I think that's the number one thing here. Like, I can't sit here and be so proud of my AMD if I still held it. I mean, I'd still be proud of it. We got out. But that's scalping for you, right? It's not that many trades. It's a few trades here, especially if you're on Webull or Robinhood or I guess TD Ameritrade. There's lots of free trading opportunities right now out there. You can similarly scalp. So I think that if it's not part of your repertoire, that's fine. But look at that out right there at 148, right? Saves us that move to the downside. And when we get in, we look at some of these plays. Like, I'm long 146.50. So some of you would say, well, I'm still in the money, so that's great. And if that's your style, that's fantastic. But when this rips up here and, we're letting it go, we're in the money, we're still holding it when it's up here. But then when it fades back in and we take out that 148, that's when we say is enough. We put that $1.50 in our pocket. Sure, it could have been $2, but it also could have been $0. So we put the $1.50 there, and I think you got to risk reward a lot of these plays, right? And I mean, we did the same thing with Palantir. It comes all the way back into right where we're long, and we get it to the last 5%. Okay, we're out. Now it comes back up. Mistake getting out, sure, but we don't have to worry when it dips back in, and it gives us an opportunity for my favorite. Okay, I'm reloaded.
Speaking of which,
right? And there you go. So you're reloaded in Rivian.
That wasn't, look, it's entirely a coincidence. That's the exact same time that Sean
I like
hit
that
the key.
Rivian reload.
It bounced, it got back to like 139 here, which was where we started the position before. And again, if it breaks 140, I'm out. But Tesla now just bounced exactly off of 980. So at some point, I would tend to think that Rivian could fall a little bit further as well, but I'm going to rinse and repeat by getting some out in front of 137 and just taking profits. Like we say, whenever went broke, taking profit, but I'll take some profits down in front of 137 if I can get it, then hold on to the rest of that core position. I see this Coco, making a big time break to the upside here. So, I mean, it's just got to 1850 on a monster breakout. Rivian looks like it's going to take that 14, so the reload might not actually work out. There it is, actually got ticked out of Rivian, which it looked like it did not break that hard. So Rivian got to 140.09. So that almost looks like a bit of a failed break there, and it might have been too tight of a stop. It's still going to be a decent short, but obviously I would have liked to see it hold that level altogether, but it still could be a failed break. So I'm going to give it a few seconds here, see if it can't manage to hold. It just tested that off for one more time, and then that 140 held. If it does it and holds it for a little bit longer, then I do like that short to jump back into it and call it a failed break on Rivian. One dark pool looks like, or a small amount of shares actually triggered that stop and got it out at 140.09. I'm going to jump back into it, give it to the recent high, maybe even those quarters, just a little bit more room in case it is a failed break.
Yeah, we still have that. So we didn't get out of our Rivian short there. We didn't. We're going to give it a little higher than 140 on that break. So we'll wait to see. I mean, we could be completely wrong. And there you have it, right? Neil and I both trading the same stock, basically the same position, and different executions, right? So there you go. So we got to talk our way through these things and try to justify the positions. And I think here it goes right now.
Now it's gone.
Now it's gone. Yeah, it's going to break through 141 right now. So there goes Rivian. Wow. And again, all the strength in Rivian today, man. We talked about wanting to get along through 120, back through 124. That doesn't happen, but there goes Rivian shooting to the upside, taking out 141. Wow, this was a 106.75 IPO, guys. Rivian not messing around, upside right now. What's up, Brendan?
Just seeing Novavax, guys. So it looks like they applied in South Korea for emergency use for their COVID-19 vaccine. There was also a headline for a booster shot on mRNA as well for vaccine names. So there was some volume on this NVAX this morning, but not really doing much. Just came back into where we ended on Friday, trying to bounce here for Novavax. It's 10:30. Let's get an update quickly on Europe, Miss V. How are we ending over there?
Hey Brendan, European markets are mixed. Royal Dutch Shell trading in Netherlands is up more than 1% after saying it would simplify its business and move its head office to Britain from Netherlands. Back to you.
Yeah, back to basically flat for the S&P as well, guys. So a bit of a choppy start to the week overall.
Yeah, and a bit of a break at that. Well, I mean, obviously you saw. I'm still watching that Coco, by the way, out of the corner of my eye here, because it looks pretty interesting. It might have made a bit of a top, but that 980 got taken out, and on Tesla that is, and then it just bounced right back up through 985. So if that's a wick bottom, I think Tesla's looking like it might have made a little bit of one. It's some concern. I mean, this Rivian and Tesla are basically the opposite charts. I have one sort of above the other on my 3 minutes above on my upper screen. I kind of wonder if there's a reversal that happens in Tesla, will that reverse Rivian? If that's the case, they both just, like one just broke through a 140 high and the other, broke through 140 high and then Tesla broke 980 only to come back into the upside. So Tesla could have put in a bit of a bottom here. I'm not really going to chase it sitting there. I like the short on it, and I'm going to stick with that thesis. But if you're sitting in Rivian, which I'm not, by the way, I got out of my short. If you're sitting in the long, I'd be at least a little bit concerned that if Tesla catches a bid, maybe that's going to be some money coming out of Rivian. That's what it looks like. They're sort of going the opposite way. Dollar Tree, there's levels that we can like and we can go over them, but ultimately this is going to be a miss. And it's not usually a lot of pre-market volume. I think got excited about this one, sort of talking about it in the pre-market. I put it on my tweet this morning and then we talked about it, but did not get the execution. It's a great breakout, and it just failed at 130. When I say failed, it got up to 130.30 and then pulled back in here, but it's still a clean sort of $120, $10 into that level and still looking pretty good. But if it barcodes up here, it's probably going to be a short off that 130 level if we get another chance. And it looks like Rivian might have caught a bit of a top. It just got back through that 140 level. So I'll probably give it one more shot. I like the notion that Tesla catching a bid, Rivian maybe catching a bit of a top. It got through 141 and did not get very far. So if I can get something closer to that 140 mark, I'd jump back into it. That SSNT, didn't get it unblocked. It came back in, but no chance for me to short it because it's still blocked for us.
Okay, yeah, we're still holding that Rivian. We didn't catch out of anything there, so we'll wait to see if it comes back in 138 bid. Hopefully, can hit, and we'll get out of some of this Rivian, and then let the rest dip down in. So Rivian right now, short. We didn't get out there on that break, so we'll wait. Again, it could just tick right back up. So right now we're flat on Rivian. We're short 139.40, so that's about as flat right now as you can get on this stock. So on the price action, hopefully it can fade back in and again a 138, something like that, right around here. We'll see if we can tick it out. We are bidding there, and we do watch out for this 141. We have a 141.50, I believe, as our out for Rivian. So that's going to come out soon. If it goes back up there, we'll see. All right, Palantir again. We'll take one more shot at this. We're going to average in. If it breaks through 15, then we'll get out. But we are taking one more shot at 15, then wait for it to go a little bit lower here. Again, we're not going to give back what we made, but it's bouncing around right now. And again, the problem here is I believe the market's just trying to get going. If it fades back in, then we don't want to be long anything into this. So we'll get out if that is the case. We do take another Roblox trade here. We'll see if we can punch it out one more time. We're long right at these bottoms, 105.50. Again, the market turns on us and this position is squashed. So we're going to have to wait on this back up to 107 maybe. Here would be a nice little play for us. So we'll try to scalp this for about $1.50, giving it about 50 cents, a break of 105, and we're gone. Rivian back to the upside again. So there we go. Roblox, good long. We'll see. We have a few positions on. We've explained them pretty good. So let's go over to Brendan.
Wow, EVgo with a huge flush, guys, down through 16 there. This Coco, Neil, you were just asking about this Coco. They actually reported, it looks like back on Friday, it would appear, and then a whole slew of analyst moves to the upside today. So big move on Coco, Vita Coco, guys.
I'm telling you, man, like so much for the, usually Brendan's good luck, but not this time because Rivian just took out that high of the day again. So I'm out of the short. I keep taking these paper cuts like over and over, get in, get out with those stops. Coco, look, that's a big parabolic move, but it has consolidated here. I mean, look, you move like that, and then you have that kind of a wick and then a reversal. A lot of times I'm thinking it's got to be a short, but I'm going to let this, it needs to break this bottom here at 1760, maybe even like 1750 in that range. I want to see that get taken out before I jump into it. Like I said, that SSNT, if you guys were watching it, it's still holding. It gets that halt level at 9 to 925. It's made a couple of runs at the high of the day. But guess what? It hasn't even broken down. Has not taken out VWAP. So I might have written this one off a little bit early. Looks like it could still have a bit of a bid. If it holds VWAP throughout lunchtime or maybe during Memes and Movers, Trader Pratt and Ms. V, we'll get a shot at this breaking out through the high that, of course, Sean and I still trade. Like I might also likely look at this for a potential breakout or a fade off of that high if we get it unblocked, of course. And look, so, sundial, we can go over this one. It did make another push down Ignore this dark wick. I'm sitting on the bid in front of 88. Had this actually happened, I would have gotten to fill, but there's just a dark pool print down at the pre-market lows. Looks like it's still testing the low of the day here on sundial. So I guess the bounce a little bit short-lived on SNDL. That dollar break is going to have to wait, at least for now. And then Oatly, well, this has been, for something down this much, under this much pressure, it's turned into a bit of a sleeper. So there was that move down at the open, and that's been pretty much it. The longer it holds VWAP, the more likely I think it actually has a bit of a bounce in it at 10. And Dollar Tree, I have not shorted it. It did pull off of 130. Now it's retesting that high. So what you'd like to see, well, what I would like to see anyways, if I'm going to short the stock, first, I love it. I like that long break, but I didn't get it. Now you got to think about that next trade as a day trader. I want to see it test that high again. Ideally, it was a fail break the first time, so I'd like to see it not break 130 on any push to the upside, then consolidate lower, and then I want to have a bit of a short if I can get it around 129. So at this time of day, you don't have to rush into a reversal. A lot of times a really strong stock is going to give you a nice long barcode before any reversal into VWAP anyways, and it would still have to break this 128.5, which has been support. So lots of reasons why you can be patient with this move. And I think you guys heard Trader Pratt say, wow, 140.
Yeah,
There's only one stock you could be talking about, wow, 140, and that's Rivian. So this is me. Like, this is the only good short that we had, and then this one here is not going to win. The next one's not going to win. Maybe it is going to be a 150. I have no idea at this particular point, but I'm going to hold off. It either needs to hold below 140 in this range and really catch a longer consolidation, or I think I'm looking almost like $5 or $10 higher. Worth noting, Tesla, and I still like that notion that they're going against each other, but Tesla's back up to 992 and getting close to VWAP. And I do think that the money could come out of Rivian, which has me thinking I should be back into this one, especially if Tesla's going to get back to 1,000. I mean, they've been going the opposite direction all morning long. And if that's the case and Tesla's going to hold this $15 bounce, Rivian should at least be pulling back $2 or $3, you'd think. Can't even seem to pull back one at this point.
Yeah, we're in the money about $1.25 on Rivian right now. We have the short 142, so we'll wait for that. Tilray right now, another one, so that's good. We talked about getting out, and I just did that little rant on scalping, and I think that this gives us to it, right? Like, so we can get out there, and then when it comes back into a level, that we like, we can take it and then take that 10 cents right back. So there it is right now. We'll hold on to the net last 40% of this trade as we take a little bit there. And there's Rivian, man. Yes, sir. Hit it. Rain down the cash right there. Here's a small in, right? 140, 190 there. Out 142. So it's a very, very small hit on that trade. Back in to the short right now. So Rivian, we'll see if it could be, it's a profitable stock for us so far, but it has to fade back in a little bit more. We are having this note out here, man, like a 143 break. We can get out of Rivian, but right now we are short 142. Just cashed out at 140.05. So that was a $2 winner there for Rivian. So hopefully it'll continue to go to the downside for us, but I don't know, man. Rivian's been super strong. Still can't believe I don't have this in my portfolio. At 106.75, and I wanted it, and you had an opportunity to even buy 95 that day, let's call 96 was basically the all-time low there. So there it goes, nice little trade there for Rivian. Hopefully it continues to march to the downside, but right now it's Brendan with happening now at the big screen. Move on Tesla.
Hey guys, we'll talk about the S&P. Check out the sectors here. 0.08%. So we are in positive territory, which is the good part. A lot of big moves, once again, for individual names. So you're getting a lot of things offsetting each other. I'll start down here. Communication stocks. Take-Two, TTWO, down 5% today. EA as well, 3.5% to the downside. But there's Facebook, 2.5%, Discovery and Viacom, 2.5% to the upside, kind of offsetting that. So those stocks basically flat to slightly higher on the day. There's Boeing, we talked about in the pre-market there, now 3.8%. GNRC to the downside, about 3%. Industrials having a nice day. Commercial and transport names all nicely higher. So transport is where you find the airlines and some of the automotive names as well. Under Armour here. Let's go to consumer discretionary. Under Armour, we talked about the end of the week last week, 2.3%. That's Dollar Tree, if you're wondering, 14% to the upside. 15% now for DLTR. eBay as well having a nice day. Targets here. Win, some of the hotels having a nice day. So consumer discretionary stocks as a group providing most of the strength, offsetting tech stocks. So tech stocks making the biggest moves to the downside. CTXS, NLOC, AKM, and FTNT, all about 2 to 3% to the downside. Semiconductors are very slightly positive, but there are some big movers to the downside in the group itself. So Once you kind of equal all of that out, we are basically flat for the overall market, 0.12. Utility stocks, it's worth noting, in positive territory. That's the energy group down there in the corner. If you're wondering, we saw a decent move for crude to the downside. Guys, back over to you.
Thank you, Brendan. Someone in the chat there, I think it was, Bevan S. Brendo, why is that not a Trader TV hoodie that you're wearing? It's an interesting question, but I think Brendan, of course, as you guys all know, has to have his own style, and it's usually a pretty good one, I think.
Because I think he has
he's got a strong sweater game. It's got the zipper on there.
Is that a zip?
It's got a zipper on it.
Yeah, we don't have the Trader TV zip hoodie.
Oh,
we use
Actually, I
zip
should get a zip hoodie. Do we have
something a little bit more style? Like, I mean,
do we have a zip hoodie, Valeria?
Not sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It actually makes it easier.
I want one, so we're gonna put one up.
Because then you can put the microphone on it and not have it. We had the issues last week. I know they were busting your balls over it, Sean. Cocoa, by the way, puts in a lower high at 18.25 or so and pulling back in. So it looks like it is giving a consolidation. I talked about that test on Dollar Tree. So be patient. Allow it to retest the high. It just did so. It broke above. It still could turn into a short if it, if it fails at like 130.50, comes back and give you that consolidation. But this is why I didn't want to jump into it. This time of day, you can let it sort of hang out there a little bit longer and then see what happens as terms of a next leg, guys. So, Dollar Tree still looking relatively strong here above that 130 mark. This Cocoa looking like it is fading away a little bit as it comes back down below 18. So if it breaks down 1750. I'm going to like that one down into VWAP. But running out of steam is that one. In SSNT, we never actually got those locates. It flushed, of course, without me.
Oh man, this pay safe, guys. Like, I'm sitting here at, I've been at 34, for how long? Well, actually not. Actually, that's the market time. It's been quite a while here. I know, I have to go back and check it. But we've been waiting for this 1034 print since here. So 1020 or so. And it's just bouncing around. I can't even get filled. So we're waiting at 434 right now for pay safe. It's just not moving. We obviously have a 30 bid, and it's been a good stock, but pretty dead. So if anybody's on pay safe, you might not want to look at it today. I thought maybe there'd be some action, but 11 million shares, not really doing anything. We're just going to slowly get these out. If it drifts up, great. If it drifts down, we already have our plan for that one. Rivian, hit the fireworks. This is starting to go right now, 139.50. We have this. Hopefully, we have the high tick of the day. Right now, we're short at 142, 141.92 right now. So this is $3 in the money. The shorts have been working on this name as well today for me. So short there. Always been in short. So short everywhere on Rivian, and now nicely in the money. One of my, close to my number one stock of the day is going to be Rivian. Looks like AMD will be there as well. This is going to be position pending. I don't have any targets. I still think we come to the downside. So, I have a target, like 135 maybe, and I think we can get more than that. So 135 would be $7, but that'd be pretty sweet if we could get back down into there. So that's Rivian. Here it goes, man. $3 in the...
Money.
What about Disney? It's still going down. I'm not going to look at Rivian anymore because the more I look at it, the more I'm going to want to take it out and reward the $4 winner, but we'll wait on that one. Disney, is it a buy here? No, it is not. It is almost a buy. Okay, look. I don't mind this. I've sold at 175 the day before earnings, just like we bought Roblox 77 the day before earnings, okay? But at the same time, Disney's fallen back in. You got to try to think about where to get some advantages here on Disney. It's fallen back in. It did try to go back upside, but it's been a dog for a while, Disney, including the last 6 months. I mean, if you bought it any time in the last 6 months, you're not very happy. Or last 6 months, check the last year, actually, on Disney. It hasn't done anything since January, where you could have had that bottom with a nice move back up. And so Disney's been a losing stock for the last year while the NASDAQ is up 40%. So think about that, and then think about why you actually want to buy Disney. I still think this fades a lot more. 150, I'm going to get some bids in there, maybe 140. Obviously, that report was a little worse than many thought. The NASDAQ still positive, or not down. The S&P is up 0.11, and Disney down today. It's not down huge, but it's down. So I think you almost got to wait, man, on this one. If you want to nibble, you can on Disney. And this is why we're not watching Rivian, as it just continues to put itself into the gates of hell, as Rivian downside right now. We are short this name, so a good short right here, still in the money. We took some out at 140 for $2. Now we're $4 in the money. Let's see how far Rivian can go.
And CrowdStrike is short sell restricted at this point because it's down over 10%. They did catch a downgrade as well, I do believe, if that's correct. And you're going to look at this, if you draw trend lines, you're into that sort of thing, you're actually probably breaking one if it gets through that 250 mark. I mean, definitely through like 250, but probably through 252 as well. It's managed to hold. If you look at the 200 period, it's not gotten anywhere near that 200 period in any retracement so far, usually stopping shy about $5 or $6 and then making a bit of a bounce. So if that were to be the case today, it rests at 236. I mean, certainly you think it's got to hold some levels above that 240, but you absolutely never know. I'm going to be looking to bottom pick this one. 250, and then from there, that 200 period's been a good one. But wow, CrowdStrike getting absolutely smashed this morning. I got into Coco for the first time here. Oops, the daily chart's not.
CrowdStrike, I think, was a downgrade.
Just broke. CrowdStrike was a down. Yeah, it was just a downgrade. It's not like it was even an earnings report. So that's a lot on a downgrade. I think the only security name reporting this week is Palo Alto on Friday. That's all the way to the end of the week. So maybe I don't know. Whatever. I don't know if you're waiting around all week long for this to catch a bit of a bid, but if it's still hanging at those lows, I mean, if Palo Alto doesn't have a good report, then CrowdStrike's probably in a world of hurt. Coco just got that 17.50 short in the breakdown. I want to scalp this quickly to 17 even and then see what happens at that 18 level on the upside. Risk 50 pennies in about either direction. Sundial continues to hold that 90 cent, and then Tesla, I mean, that 980 level probably was good for a reversal. I didn't hold a short to that price. It's gotten back up to about 95s there, just shy of VWAP, and looking to break back into the upside here is Tesla. With the market catching a bid, the NASDAQ could turn green. If it does so, I mean, 995 in Tesla would look better if the 1,000 level wasn't there. It's been going counter trend to the overall market, so I wouldn't read too much into it. On the other hand, NVIDIA as well, making a bit of a bottom here, but if the market can get green, this has a chance to take out a 300 level, which looks a little bit better than the Tesla 995 break, at least to me anyways.
Juicy. Yeah, some of these weak names starting to go as well. We got Tilray, that was a good pickup at the bottom. And then we'll hit this. We'll wake up Tilray, we'll wake up Paysafe with a siren. There it is. So it finally goes up. We get some 37s. Now we're up to 38. We'll let Paysafe continue to ride. If we get some, my offer right now is at 44. So hopefully we can get back right into here for Paysafe, back to where we were at the open on that name. So a good little look there for PSFE backside. Right now, Tilray, Paysafe, long, Rivian on the short. But Rivian right now bouncing. I'm looking at this 137 level as a possible out right there, maybe even 138 where we just bounced off of. So like 138 is a $4 winner. You know, that's something that we maybe should have taken there, especially with the strength in Rivian. But let's see if it fades out a little bit here today. I think this is well worth the risks. I don't have any bids out, but that 138 was juicy. So if you want to take part out, I don't mind that. We already took our part out right there at 140 for $2. So I kind of want to hold just to see. But if you didn't take that 140, you may want to look at a 138 to get a piece out there. But Brendan over there at the big screen with Money Talks. Let's see how the US dollar has had a rough week last week. Let's see what it's doing right now.
Yeah, bouncing around this morning. We'll show you the DXY top of the list here, 95.1. So we are positive once again after a very volatile week last week, back and forth. Canadian dollar on the chart over there, up today, 0.25%. Bank of Canada governor talking about less slack in our economy, whatever that means. So a little bit positive here for the CAD after a big move down last week, back to 79.5. Trying to get back above 80, but 79.8 right now for the Canadian dollar. Everything else pretty positive so far. Bitcoin bottom end here, 0.5% to the upside, back to 64,300. Ethereum basically flat, same with Ripple. They're not really doing a heck of a lot, guys.
The Playmaker 88 saying Brendan needs Cam Newton's wardrobe guy. No, let's just. Brendan will never dress like Cam Newton, I don't think. Well, shout out to everyone that likes that look. Coinbase here. I see you, Jude. Coinbase pulling in a bit of a pullback, and every time I look at Coinbase, I always want to make sure spot's not going crazy. Not too much.
Not doing anything.
It's just we just dipped down a little bit off of 66,000, but Coinbase trying to make a double bottom. This was a good resistance level. Well, I mean, I guess we don't like resistance levels if you're long, but it was a good resistance level anyways at 344 on the week, 343, 344. That's where that bottom got put in the pre-market. So I think you're right about this. You're kind of putting in support where you would think it should have to be, resistance turning into that support, and then a higher low at 45s. I think much the same way with dollar trade, I'd like to see it maybe retest that low maybe one more time and hold up that higher low before getting into a long. It looks like NVIDIA 300. Wow, I mean, it just like 1, 2, maybe a third time before it goes through here. It bounced off 300 several times, makes a break, goes a couple of bucks, then tries to come back in. So if the market does come back, I like NVIDIA for a 300 break. Tesla, by the way, all the way back to 985. It found resistance at VWAP as well. I like NVIDIA because it gives you a break at 300, and then maybe you can scalp some out in front of VWAP. That way, if it's a fail, not too bad. You can take some profit in the interim.
Yeah, I like that. We're going to go long right now, Lucid. So we still are short Rivian. So I don't think they're going to, hopefully they're not going to be too against each other here. But the long Lucid right now, a nice move back. I don't think this was a flush or anything like that. It just came back in. The volume's not been great on this right now, but we'll take a long. We're a little bit late past this long. So the day that we've been having, we'll try it. We'll get in a little early on this and then see. It's been a fantastic day. So hopefully we can get an average price back in. Not hopefully, we never want to average into a trade, because if it works, then we don't ever have to average in, right? But back down here, 44 teens or so will look to get longer. And then honestly, if this breaks through 44, we don't want this. But there's a chance this goes. So let's see. Card of the year today, the Dream. We'll see if it wants to go. We're long right now. What price do I have on this? 35, so it's flat. A target area, sort of where we were before, 44.80 and change right now. Look, it's a big, I'm sure we're going to Brendan out for earnings. It's a big earnings, man. We got Retail Bonanza coming up soon, so let's go over there. I didn't even realize that the name I'm talking about is flat in the middle of this board. So let's go over to Brendan.
Yeah, starting tonight when it comes to some of the retail names, the big ones all week long, guys. Here's what's tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get, well, like obviously Lucid, that's the one in the middle of the board. Sean was talking about it. And then, look, we're going to get Walmart and Home Depot later on in the week. We still get Lowe's and why am I forgetting the other one? Oh, my goodness.
Lowe's, Home Depot, Target. What were you mentioning?
There's one other, it doesn't really matter.
Well, there's Macy's.
Oh, my goodness. You also have, where's, XL Fleet's there too as well.
Ooh, XL Fleet. You can go to hell. Okay, so that stock there. That's just one of the only ones. Oh, there's your Casper. So they got bought out in the bottom right.
Right.
So that's going to be nothing.
What? Yeah, ignore those earnings
Unless
for a buyout.
We'll have to see. I guess it's an official deal. I mean, I guess they're probably not going to cancel. Why would they do that?
Right now,
they must know something. Like, why would they buy a company out before the earnings report? It seems like you get more clarity after. But okay, I am not a shareholder of Casper, so I wish I was going into today. Although, how much of a bump was that today?
It was a monster premium, right? Like, and I think that's why it's trading a little bit weaker. I thought I'd be way more active in this. I know it was 90% premium, but you can see I haven't even made any trades because it dropped down and is trading like at like 660 or so. So, you know, I think it's probably a fade given how big that premium is. It's just fallen too far for me to short it. Miss V, we need to know last thing what National Day it is. I don't think it's going to be that, although.
National Cannabis Day, well, eventually that'll be a thing.
we know when that is.
Not right now.
Hey guys, no, it is not, but I'll let you know what's that in the end. And first of all, thank you very much for starting this week with us. I hope you're all doing great. And guys, thank you so much for 3,000 likes. I believe we should get at least 3,000 likes daily because we deserve that. And thank you for all the super chats. Welcome all the new members and subscribers. Join me and Pride right after to keep trading, and happy National Bond Cake Day, everyone.
Bund cake? Okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with bun cake. I like it, especially that chocolate looks really tasty. Got some nice fruits on the top there. Some nice milk chocolate glaze looks really yummy. So yeah, I'm definitely down with that.
Yeah, I can't. Look, you're not going to have me say negative things about just about any type of pastry, but that looks like a pretty tasty dessert there. Brendo, it's usually hit or miss for you. What are you saying, bun cake?
I was sitting here trying to think of the last time I even had something like that. I can't even remember, but sure, why not? I mean, it's cake. I think most of them are usually, you get like angel food cake or like the strawberry shortcake type of thing. So yeah, that's not bad.
Yes. I wasn't very familiar with it with the chocolate, but well, I mean, it's National Day. So just quickly here, just to recap some of our trades before we let you guys go to memes and movers right now. There it is. There's another winner for us. So we'll hit the cowbell for Lucid. Out of half there for 30 cents. No, sorry, buy 30, out 50, so 20 cents there. We're just scalping it like we've talked about. Breaks through 44, we're gone, and we'll give back that trade there. So that's a good one. Look at Tilray, man. You want to talk about something that's going high today, Tilray. We wait. We're very, very patient. We picked that bottom up. Nice move there. We're going to hold out to Rivian. It's only $2 now in the money. We'll see if that dips through. Lucid, Rivian, and then PaySafe, man. Yeah, I mean, PaySafe so far so good. It was a fantastic day for us here today. And it looks like there's going to be a decent earnings board to come through.
Yeah, I think it's a good week for earnings.
Should be great. We're back at 2 p.m.
Especially for the overall market because you know you're going to get some color on the supply chain with the names that are reporting this week. Leo, Wilson, rum cake all the way. I'll take rum cake over just about anything there. My wife makes a fantastic one, believe it or not, and extra rum, as always. Like Sean said, I'm still sitting in this Oatly, which somehow looks relatively strong at this point. But as Sean said, we got to get to memes and movers. There's a lot to cover today. We are back at 2 o'clock for the final 2 hours of the market. But for now, you're going to Trader Pratt and Miss V. Go get them.
Welcome back to Memes and Movers. It is Monday, November 15th. Miss V, the beautiful Miss V to my right.
Miss Meme, hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're doing great so far, and thank you for joining us. Please be active on the chat. As usual, ask us anything. And of course, don't forget to like this video. On the morning show, I promised if we